Well. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another video. Good afternoon, I should say. We're actually streaming a little bit earlier today than normal. So, big news, really. Yesterday, last night, basically, Arenanet announced Expansion 6. It's called, something Eternity. Shadows of Eternity? No, not that. We'll have a look at it in a second. Secrets of Eternity? No. What's it called? Anyway, hello everyone. So they revealed it yesterday. And what I want to do here is basically do a blind reading of the blog post. I know as you can tell, I know basically nothing about the expansion right now. I know that there's a trailer. I know there's some screenshots, and I've taken some snippets from the blog post. Basically, so I was a little bit nervous about this. Okay, so when Secrets of the Obscure got announced, I wasn't in the country, so I kind of missed that. Last year, when Janthea Wilds came out, I really wasn't very into Guild Wars about 12 months ago. The nice patches had burned me out a bit. I wasn't... So I don't even remember what I did last year. But I didn't really feel very nervous, or like I wasn't on tenterhooks with the reveal or something. I just sort of remember it happened. This year's a bit different, though. I've really enjoyed Janthea Wilds. I think the story is a mess. I think that the quality of the storytelling is really not there for me at the moment. But in terms of the features they're putting in the game, in terms of the achievements and stuff, the objectives, the quality is a little bit lower across the board. I think the map exploration isn't as good as it was pre-mounts. I think the story instances, like I'm currently replaying Season 2 with Kerry. And, I'm in all those dry top instances, and Power Creep has ruined all the instances. But Power Creep aside, the amount of scripting that's going on with all the boss fights and all the environments and all the things you go to, really, really good. And it's very obvious that the modern mini-X packs, the quality is not quite there, right? So the story writing's a bit iffy for me. It's pretty bad, I think, for me at the moment. And the quality in general is down a bit. But overall, I've really enjoyed Janthea Wilds. I think mini-X packs are pretty goddamn good. And... unlike last year with the nice patches, this year I'm still very captured by Guild Wars. I'm very, very into it. So now there's an expansion announcement. Oh my god! So I'm quite nervous about this reveal. And I was thinking, well, whatever information they reveal, I'm going to cover in like a big bonanza. I'm going to go crazy with it. We'll cover it all. But I was a little bit nervous about doing. I know that some of you guys will sit there and you'll say, "Oh, WP, yeah, do like a 5-hour speculate-a-thon." But it's a lot of energy, and I was thinking, holy shit, comparing this to say like when POF got announced or when Heart of Thorns got announced, End of Dragons to a much lesser extent. Expansion announcements can be big, and here I am this time, super into Guild Wars 2, super ready for it. And so what have they done? They've done one blog post. There's a trailer and there's one blog post. That's it. It's not like you're going to go to the website and you're going to see like 5 blog posts about this, that, and the other thing. And so I've heard, I haven't looked at any feedback myself, but I've heard that people on Reddit are kind of like raging about that there's not enough information, blah, blah, blah. But secretly, guys, or not so secret, I should say, I'm actually kind of happy with this. There's one blog post. We'll cover it all here today. There's a trailer, obviously, which will be quite fun to see. I don't think, which means it's piecemeal. Which means we can take it a day at a time. I'm assuming that, like, really, bigger details will come out in the coming weeks, which is the way that they should do it, I think. So, yes, it's funny to compare the POF announcement with what we've had this week. But I'm quite happy with it. It means we should be able to get a fairly concise hour or 2 video here. Or stream, I should say. And we'll go from there. So, to be clear, a lot of people have been asking, and it's in my best interest to say this. I do have an affiliate link. In fact, I've made sure, if you look at the description of this video, it's like the top link there. In fact, my affiliate link is in the description of every video I've done for the past half-decade. It's always really easy to find my affiliate link. It's always in the description. If you can't find it there, it's always in Discord in the About the Club section. Like, I tried to make it fairly obvious. So anyway, if you guys are interested in this, feel free to click it. I don't know what we'll be seeing as we go through here. I will say that with Secrets of the Obscure, it was a mini-X pack. It was the first of a new format. And I wasn't totally sure if I could advocate for pre-ordering that because we didn't know where the quality would be. With Janthea Wilds, I also wasn't really sure if I advocated for pre-ordering it. And if you look at my coverage of both of those, I didn't really push my link that hard. Last year with Janthea Wilds, I didn't that much because Nios had been a bit of a letdown for me. with that said, this year I feel pretty stable about what mini X-Packs are. If you're an active player at this point, you know what they are. We've had the announcement last week where they've said, you know, there'll be a moderately more story next year. There'll be this, that, and the other thing. If you like what you've heard, if you want to continue playing Guild Wars, you're likely to get it. And so, yeah, if you guys, you know, and there's like some pre-order bonuses or whatever. I don't want to shill it too hard. But yeah, you can just click the link in the description, check it out. And if you make any kind of purchase after clicking that link, it helps me massively. We don't have big audiences here in covering Guild Wars 2, all right? We don't get that much ad revenue. You know, it is what it is. One of the only times really people in this community can earn anything is right now. If you click my link, it is massively helpful. So thank you very much to anyone who does that. And yeah, it is there. So yeah. So what is this? First of all, by the way, I'm on Gux. I made this guy on stream right before EOD. In fact, I think I did one of my streamed End of Dragons playthroughs. Sorry, just getting a sip of coffee here. One of my streamed End of Dragons playthroughs on him. Because I wanted him to be a Harbinger. He is modeled as perfectly as I possibly can off of the generic Asura that you see in character creation. I love this outfit so much. I love the way that this stuff claws up right up my neck and towards my mouth. And then when you obviously put the hat on, it's even cooler. So yeah, anyway, I'm thinking I'll be playing the next expansion on him. One of the reasons is, okay, since the last stream I did, I was talking a bit about my progress. So as far as Janthea's Wild is concerned, I am now done. We have, you know, the generic Janthea stuff. We have all the Lowland Shore achievements. These are just repeatables. There's no AP on them anymore. All of Janthea Sintry, all of the Mistburned Barons, all of Barvanisos. You don't get any AP for that anyway. Convergences, I've done all the CMs and everything. I had yet to do my 100th Mount Barrier. I did that about 3 days ago. That was the last thing, my 100th Mount Barrier. So I got my 2 AP from that. All the repeatable hearts, which by the way is pretty good for Ursus Obliges. All the side stories, you guys saw me do those anyway. But then when we get down to the Mastery Insights, the Renowned Heart things, but you get these two, the legendaries. So Clobyan I already talked about, you know, maybe 6 months ago. That was the first legendary. Then there was Orax. In the last part, I hadn't finished this. I had like three to collect. And then also down here in the collections section on backpacks, one of these fills in as well when you get it done. Orax was hard. Orax was ridiculously expensive. This thing here, the Gift of the Feast, it asks for like hundreds of certain cooked foods. Some of them ask for like poultry and stuff, which is just mental. One of the craziest one here, the Gift of the Dessert, right? It asks for various desserts. So like passion fruit tapioca pudding. But look, it's asking for 200 bowls of prickly pear sorbet. And sorbet, do you know what? I'm going to be very honest here. I don't really know the difference between ice cream and sorbet. Sorbet's just like thicker and fruitier, isn't it? I don't really get it. I had sorbet, I think, for the first time in my life at an ice cream shop in France. And it was nice. Anyway, so sorbet needs these glacial shards. This is, you know, like you got lodestones and they tear up and you tear up and up and up until eventually you get lodestone. This is like one of the middle tier things from one of the rarer lodestone elemental lines. It's 3 gold per. And you need like multiple per prickly pear sorbet, I think. Or maybe it's 1 per. But anyway, you could just see with that immediately. That's like 600 gold just for the one food there. So anyway, Orax is one of the most expensive legendaries I can ever remember making. Ridiculously expensive. But it fits perfectly. So you got this like dragon thing coming down the back. It fits with the outfit. So yeah, anyway, so done with Janthea Wild, and I did like it, by the way. It was nice to go back to cooking. I play a lot of survival crafting games, and there's always like, you know, lots of crafting happening and cooking and different recipes. And it's funny, in Guild Wars 2, I barely ever engage with it. It was weird to do it in Guild Wars and realize, oh, you need salt and pepper for loads of recipes, and salt is really cheap and easy to get in Guild Wars, but pepper is not. Pepper's expensive. So every time you make a little sachet of salt and pepper for some recipe, the pepper like weighs you. It was weird to have those experiences, and I discovered some recipes that I'd never discovered. So anyway, I very much enjoyed it. You know, it's expensive, but it's cool because, you know, like when I needed those glacial shards, if I had been doing events in Bloodtide Coast that week, it's changed now. But can you see there? It's got Sharp Claws and then Foul Essence, Filthy Essence, Large Skulls. It basically meant you could do events in Bloodtide Coast and earn a mint. You could earn fuck tons of money just like doing Tide of Covington or whatever because of the bonus event system, which is a weird system that I think Arenanet don't lean into very often. But, you know, I think the best is every 5 weeks you can go to like Bitterfrost or some shit. I don't know, one of the maps. And you can get crazy amounts of them and just make loads of sorbet. And I doubt those prices will come down anytime soon. I still dream of a Guild Wars where, you know, food was expanded a bit and early game foods were more useful, and I don't know, they dropped the ball with Ascended cooking, really. Anyway, so yeah, that's a little bit of progress of what I've been doing in game. What is this today? Basically, guys, what you're watching is a live stream. I'm live right now. Hello. If you caught me last week, I tested a thing out where in the middle of the live stream, I shot a video because the announcement they did last week, I wanted to read blind, and I'm going to do that again here today. You know, there's pros and cons to it. The blind read through of the blog post last week was a little bit iffy because sometimes I was going off on rants where if I just read the next sentence, we would have known what the information was. But I'm going to do it blind. I want you guys to have my raw, fresh, genuine first impressions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say hi to you guys here. We're going to have a bit of back and forth in chat. We'll do the video in the video and spin that off. And then I'll come straight back to you guys in the live chat and we'll have a bit of a Q&A and we'll see what we're doing. So that's why I'm a bit more conversational and all over the place and not particularly on topic right now, so to speak. The actual... We'll deal with the announcement in just a moment and I'll be like hyper-focused on it at that point. I've already got all the screenshots and everything ready to go and we'll see what we got. So, with the risk of reading too much spoilery stuff in the live chat right now, let's see what people are saying. First of all, to everyone who made it for the premiere, like earlier, about an hour ago, and was just chatting away, that was cool. John Sellers with $10, thanks very much. Oh, and he says himself, make sure you use my affiliate link to buy the expansion. I mean, in theory, you can use any partner you like, obviously. I'm going to advocate for myself. But yeah, it is a massive help, so... I felt definitely weird the previous 2 years, because I wasn't too confident in the format. But this year I feel pretty good, and I think, yeah, do you know what? If you want to pre-order it, it's going to be about the ballpark of what we've experienced the past couple of years. There's ups, there's downs to any product, you know. If you're still here playing Guild Wars and enjoying it, then there you go. By the way, you don't just have to use that link when you pre-order. It's just it's not out yet, so that's all you can do. If in a year you come to Guild Wars and you're like, all right, I will play it, you can click the same link and you can anything you buy at all. If you're here in chat right now and you're thinking, okay, I haven't played the previous two, even with those, any purchase you make. So yeah, it was a real letdown of an announcement, to be honest. Like, what they have looks great, but I need more. Oh dear. Well, I'm sure we'll get something out of it. I was disappointed too. I wanted more info about Elite specs. Reddit's crazy, but I mean, it's Reddit. I guess when we don't have living worlds, so we can't really have an inkling into the narrative for expansion like we used to in the Dragon Saga. I don't know if I believe that. I think that they can segue out of one mini-X pack into the other. There's a weird thing going on structurally with Guild Wars as far as these mini-X packs are concerned. I've mentioned this a couple of times. To me, why kill the Elder Dragons as fast as they did? Why rush out of the Dragon Saga? One of the answers to that is because, okay, it's really hard to get new players when there's baggage of 10 plus years of storytelling. Now, first of all, I take issue with that straight away. I don't know whether that's true. But if that's the model we're operating on, then we say, okay, we'll kill the Elder Dragons off. We'll do mini X-Packs where we do tightly contained stories, and therefore they're more approachable to everyone, right? So I was always expecting these mini X-Packs to be tightly contained. And when they're tightly contained, yeah, you probably don't want to have these big cliffhangers. But the thing is, Janthea Wilds is a strict sequel. That's not what they're doing. This is a very direct sequel to Secrets of the Obscure. You can't just jump into Janthea Wilds and know what the fuck's going on in the story. You can't. It's based on too many characters and events and things that were set up in Secrets of the Obscure. I mean, you can maybe bumble your way around, but you're not really going to be connected to it. Let alone if you haven't played the Guild Wars 1 stuff, or at least read about it online or something. This is supremely inaccessible. And Secrets of the Obscure was fairly inaccessible too. And perhaps, in my opinion, rightly so, because I think they should talk about the Dragon Saga and stuff. So, I don't know. There's something weird going on structurally with this game at the moment where It feels like they're trying to do more self-contained mini stories, but really they're not. The only way in which they're self-contained is in terms, like, geographically, right? Like, Janthea Wilds really was just around this area of the world. And I mean, Nios is kind of pushing it a bit, isn't it? But this was just about the wizards in this area. So I don't know. And this next one, okay, so minor spoilers. I do know, because I just got the screenshots. The next one's set on an island, maybe? I'll hold my tongue on that. So I don't know. I feel like they can do a good. It's not about living world. They could have ended Janthea Wilds with a very big cliffhanger and a bomb and a mic drop in a moment. Oh, here's the next thing. I guess the fear there maybe is it might look tacky or something. People have paid money for this expansion. If they feel like Janthea Wilds didn't satisfy them, and then a good chunk of the end of Janthea Wilds, it doesn't even feel like a conclusion because we're just moving to the next thing. Oh, and by the way, give us some money for it. That might feel bad to some people. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really interested in any of that. I just want good storytelling, cohesive storytelling. I hope someone gave you a link to the press kit, WP. There's some extra screenshots in there. No, I haven't seen that. If there are extra screenshots, I'll grab them and we'll look at them as, you know, we're going to do lots and lots of videos and things about this, so it's fine. There are over 100 days until it releases. Arenanet is likely planning to drip feed information over dropping everything today and losing hyper momentum. That or their marketing team is still bad. No, I think you're right, yeah. It's a good game. It's Halloween, guys, that it comes out. So yeah, I think it's fine that we don't get everything today. You're fine with the drip feed? You love the news build up to Heartthorns? Yeah, me too. I think it was really good. Absolutely. What was it that they released where they didn't do that? Was it End of Dragons? One of them, they just made the baffling decision to just, like, hold everything off until the very last second. And I thought that was such a terrible, terrible move. And I can't really get what the motivation for that was when they did that. I'm guessing it was that they felt it was built up too much, so then they're more liable to a backlash later. But, you know, you can't get trapped thinking that way. You have to be proud of your own product and have confidence in your own product and do everything you can to hype people about it. At the end of the day, are you hyped about it? Why are you making it if you're not? So yeah, drip feed the information. Get people excited. And it's just, you know, and if that is the reasoning for why they changed the formula for a little while there, I think, again, that's just another very good example of Arenanet very flinchy about the community response a lot of time. And I think they need to stick to their guns quite often. I say that full well knowing I spend half my time online nitpicking this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, I still believe that. I think, you know, ignore the nitpicks to a degree. If you're confident in it, then be confident. WP, have you considered playing Valheim? I did play Valheim for maybe 5 or 6 hours. I played it in a co-op environment where a bunch of my friends and my girlfriend basically just played way ahead. Like, I logged off for the night and they kept going. And I lost, like, all sense of progression. And I just didn't give a shit about the game, to be honest. It wasn't the game. It was the way I happened to go through it. Oh, my God. The comments are coming too fast. I can't do this. I can't read these this slowly. Holy shit. Gux looks badass. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? I dyed it. I put this on Blue Sky, and I dyed his back slightly green since then. I could just have it all jet black the whole way, but, you know. And I love the hands. The hands coming out of the floor. I mean, with Club Yarn there, it sort of obscures a little bit. The hands look so cool. I wish it was not an outfit. But hey, didn't you bail on Guild Wars 2, says Jay? What? On what level has that ever happened? Sorbet, oh my God, I'm only just getting to the sorbet comments. Sorbet's water-based, ice cream is dairy and milk-based. Oh, is that the difference? Really? Sorbet has no dairy. So wait, sorbet is healthier then? Scrolling down. I'm sorry if I'm skipping people's messages. I'm really sorry. You do have high hopes for this X-Pack. Third time's the charm. Well, that phrasing is a bit iffy to me. Because Secrets of the Obscure wasn't entirely a failure. Secrets of the Obscure had very good world building. It had an okay introductory arc. At the end of the day, it did introduce certain characters like Isgarin, who are great characters. They've been wonkily handled at certain beats, but they're great characters. you know, they've all had their ups and their downs. You know, Janthir Wilds, I really think the story is a convoluted mess. And I think where they're choosing to find drama is rubbish. I don't like what they do with the characters a lot of the time. But the subject material and everything that they picked, I think, was really, really good. So it's not like miss, oh, finally we'll get a hit. I expect the next one will be mixed too. Let's all be honest. The next one is there's gonna be things. I'm not just talking about imperfections. I mean, there's gonna be gaping holes in it. Something's gonna be like, ugh, why? Right? We'll just have to accept that. And we can talk about it and aim for perfection, but at the end of the day. I was gonna say something else there. I've forgotten it now. It's not out for 4 months. Jeez, when you put it that way, is it 4 months, really? 100 days. What my mind does when I think 100 days is I think, well, that's very close to 90, which is 3 months. What a lot of people are upset about is lacking information for elite specializations. Guys, about 3 weeks ago, half of us thought, not half of us, 90% of us didn't even think elite specializations would ever come back into the game again. It's alright, you'll be a little bit patient for some more details on them, alright? That's how I feel anyway. Maybe it's not 90%. Maybe I'm doing that thing where I assume that my view is the majority view, when in fact it's not. We all have a tendency to do that as humans. I was very cynical. I didn't think they'd bring elite specs back, but there you have them. I'm scrolling again. Oh god, I feel awful. Are we going to see my trailer reaction? You are. Very soon. You're going to see it. 100%, and Reddit is crying as usual. Oh my god, we had a $100 donation. What? Oh my god, you guys, what the fuck? Connor Ark, in quotes. Connor, you're a legend. Oh my god, thank you, man. Hello, I've been watching you for a long time and I wanted to support you. I greatly appreciate all the videos you do and the information you provide. I first played Guild Wars 1 when I was 7 years old, and your videos bring back so many memories. Thanks so much for all you do. That's wonderful, man. That's so nice. Thank you very much. 7 years old, that's quite young. I played Guild Wars 1 at fairly young. No, not that young. But, oh, well, okay, I guess MMOs and internet gaming was young to me, and there was a certain magic going from pre-searing to post and exploring up into the mountains near Yak's Bend for the first time that is just so youthful and just crazy. It's such a brilliant memory for me. And I like to think if you were playing Guild Wars 1 at 7, you must have had lots of that. That's really incredible. Thank you so much for the $100. That's really, really lovely. Yeah, anyone who donates, that's an incredible way to support me. Again, if you guys want to support me as well, please hit that link. That's insane. Oh god, my chat just skipped really far down really, really quickly. WP, I watch your Heart of Thorns videos sometimes to be filled with nostalgia of the pre-Heart of Thorns hype. Never been more hyped for the game. Yeah, that was a great period, wasn't it? It is funny. I'm not trying to be a downer. It is weird looking back at like Heart of Thorns and how huge that announcement was and what a crazy media circus that was and all the energy. And the same with POF. And then a kind of a much more understated day like today where we get a blog post and we get a trailer. I was happy to see the trailer had 100,000 views on YouTube, by the way. I'm always like monitoring that kind of stuff, like what exposed metrics there are that we have. Because I don't want to feel like Guild Wars is dying. I don't want to feel like Guild Wars is shrinking in any way. I want it to feel like it's stable at least, right? So the fact it got 100k, you know, it's not even been 24 hours yet. I think it's quite nice. I didn't read it. I haven't read any feedback anywhere. I've kept myself blind. But I did see the Reddit post. And it was on like 600 comments. And I thought that was quite disappointing. I thought, wow, man. For an expansion announcement. But the YouTube video that they released, this trailer seems to be doing very well. Yeah, oh my god, Connor, thank you so much for that. WP, you should multi-stream on Twitch. Drops happening. I'm kind of not in a Twitch phase at the moment. I've actually never multi-streamed either. Isn't there... I need to keep up with it, but I think there's some kind of contractual obligation. I'm not allowed to push VODs on YouTube for 24 hours or some shit. Screw all that. You play OSRS before? I did, yes. I didn't say it was my first. I played a couple of things before it. But it was still in that magical early phase, you know. Hi, I haven't played for about 4 years. How the game's doing? How's the game doing? So you last played in End of Dragons, right? I think it's a good time to come back. Look, guys, this Halloween is a good time to come back. If you're a seriously lapsed player, genuinely, look, if Arenanet do a sale on Secrets of the Obscure or Janthia Wilds, hopefully together, I think it is honestly a good time to come back. You would get the magnificent Giala Delve patches. Woo! Those were good ones. I have to fan myself to keep myself cool just thinking about those. Alright, so you get those. But then you do get, you know, all 3 together, a wave of elite specs, 2 new weapons, one of which is the spear, which is 5 skills at least. 3 mount reworks. Housing. You get it's quite a lot, really. So, yeah, I think it will be a good time to come back with this one. Assuming you can foot the bill for the 50 quid or whatever. What do you want from Guild Wars 3? Me personally, I would love to see them take a slightly more serious approach than they have with Guild Wars 2. Kind of like the seriousness level of Guild Wars 1. Oh god, do you know what? When I read that, I'm going to be honest with you, Zugly Red. When I read your comment there, I immediately regretted it as I was speaking. Because you're asking me what do I want from Guild Wars 3. That's huge. We may as well sit here for 3 hours talking about that. That's such a massive... How do I do a drive-by response on that, right? So I immediately regretted it. But as you kept speaking, to be honest, yeah, I agree with you, all right? I would like a slightly more serious approach. Like I say, I'm replaying Season 2 with Kerry at the moment. And I'm like fully back into... like the Tiny era and the Dragon's Watch era, with a bunch of bubbly, friendly, happy characters that just don't they don't give me the vibe I'm looking for, right? Like at all. You know, like there was a line where Timon was like, "Oh golly, it looks like there's a Morgem there. Oh golly gosh," and I was like, "Oh my." You know, and it's not bad. The voice acting isn't bad. The character isn't bad. You know, the delivery. It's just not what I want, you know? The other game I'm playing a shit ton of at the moment is Warhammer 40k Darktide, right? And I'm not saying Guild Wars needs to be like Darktide, but what I'm saying is Guild Wars 1 felt like it had a certain tone to it. It had a certain... I'm not going to use the word maturity to it. But it had a certain tone, a certain vibe, an epic fantasy vibe, right? Which really captured me and enamored me. And when I'm sitting there in those Season 2 instances, it's a very different vibe. Clearly, very different actors in the room, very different writers in the room. It's a whole different... Like, all their priorities about what they want to see on screen and stuff is completely different. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not Guild Wars to me, you know? It's like, to me, that's a different product or whatever. So you come in and you say, you know, you'd like to see a different tone. Yeah, I would love Guild Wars 3 tonally to lean back towards epic fantasy. More sober, more dry. You know, I'm not saying there can't be humor and jokes and references and things, because Guild Wars 1 was stuffed with that as well, but not so much in the main narrative. And, you know, Guild Wars 1 has its failings. When it tries to be edgy, it's cringily edgy. Like, look at Shiro, every fucking cutscene Shiro's in and stuff. So I'm not saying Guild Wars 1 nailed it, but I'm saying it's that thing of, like, you wouldn't write Tiny into a Warhammer 40k game, because it's not appropriate for the brand or the style of fantasy. It's not appropriate. And to a lesser extent, I think that's what happened with Guild Wars 2. Like, I'm replaying Season 2 right now, and it's occurring to me, all these complaints and misgivings even I myself had, that players had over the years. It's not that the content itself is bad, it's just misaligned. That's what I feel. And I still feel I would rather that tonal shift in a third product. Do I think we'd ever get it, though? No. I don't think you'll ever get that. Why? Because if the devs were interested in that tone and that style of storytelling, we would be having it. I mean, the thing is, Arenanet isn't a monolith, right? The talent at Arenanet isn't a monolith. The motivation at Arenanet isn't a monolith. There will be people there who want more of that tone, and those are the people who brought you maps and, you know, stories like what we had here at Janthia Sintry. Janthia Sintry's basically hit that bar for me. And the side quests and stuff we did with Saul and how the people got massacred and ruined at the village and stuff, that hit it for me. You know, but you know that's one voice in the room, and then there are other voices in the room that want to see Anise and Livia bicker over impatience. You know, like when I look at like failings of this story, to me, this final patch, Absolution, they had it teed up. Livia is going to lose the Scepter of Ore. She's going to give up her immortality. What? That's not a juicy enough story for you. That's not drama enough for you. That's incredibly profound. Think about that. That's so cool and deep, and you know, you can spiral into real melodrama if you want. But instead of leaning on that, they sort of manufactured sort of a bunch of bullshit where like Anise and Livia say a couple of mean words to each other and everyone goes, oh, I can't believe they're arguing. Oh my god, this is so unprofessional. They're arguing. And it's like, I don't, you know, it's not like they attacked each other and one of them scratched the other one's eye out, right? Like nobody's getting injured or really hurt or anything. And it's like, you know, so there are different impulses. Do I think Guild Wars 3 would be, you know, entirely one tone or whatever? No. I think there's a lot of chefs in the kitchen, a lot of ideas, lots of different things, and you'll get a mixed bag. And that's what Secrets of the Obscure was. That's what Janthir Wilds was. That's what this next thing will be, which we'll move on to in a second. I know some of you guys will have ants in your pants. We'll get there. We'll get there. I had another donation from Shushadu, but like the legendary, but spelt differently, spelt phonetically, I guess. €5, sorry. Thanks so much, man. Keep doing Guild Wars 2 videos. Keeps me up playing Guild Wars 2. Yeah, I do get that a lot of people are that. I'm like that with some other games. Like, if the content creator isn't covering it, I sort of drift. I sort of lose touch with it. I know exactly what you mean. I do get a bit disappointed. I mean, it's not my fault. You know, I had a comment on the video I did a few days ago. Someone said, hey man, I love it when you make a Guild Wars video. It always makes me reinstall and log in. And then I wander around and I realize I don't really know what I want to do and my character progression isn't there, so I log out. That was a comment I had a couple of videos ago. I get comments like that so often where people are like, yeah, this makes me want to play it. They log in, they spend about an hour in the game and they're like, And I wish that wasn't the case, but you know, that's part and parcel of their RPG philosophies and stuff, isn't it, really? But yeah, you know, I'll make videos as long as they've got content to make videos about. That's always been the thing. 30 minutes of tangents. These aren't tangents. This is what I want this video to be. Community back and forth. Do the reveal. I'll spin it into a video, and then we'll do more community back and forth. And I'm sure that the second batch of it will be much more interesting because we're going to be on the... we'll actually talk about this thing. They dropped the ball in the last expansion. Very anticlimactic. The ending and voice actors missing. Is that Arenanet dropping the ball? I mean, that was an industry-wide voice acting strike. What do you want them to do? Just release no patches? I get it. It's not so fun. Look, let me be very clear on my thoughts on this. I've for a long time been a proponent of more text in the game. I'm not saying they should do less voice acting, but I'm saying they should never fear putting more text in there, rounding out the story where they can, okay? So I don't mind when there's not voice acting. We need the content. One way or another, get the content in there. If we can't live in this idealistic utopian world where everything's voice acted, which is not already, by the way, then let's just accept that fact and get more text in there. Just get it in. That's my view on it. But at the same time, I will acknowledge there are certain elements of Guild Wars 2 that need voice acting. Specifically, anything happening with dynamic events. If you're going to tell me story in the middle of combat or exploration or fighting as you're moving around, it really has to be voice acted. It was incredibly difficult to read and listen to like Livia's dialogue while doing the metas in the last patch. Like, I get it. It really did drag the patch down. But again, that's not really Arenanet dropping the ball. Or is it? I don't know. Are other games in the same boat and they found workarounds? What should we do? Get AI voices? Don't hire Americans. Simple as that. I think the studio has like a contract with the guild and, you know, you can't just turn your back on them or something. The game desperately needs contextual recommendations for achievements. If you're on a certain map, it will highlight certain achievements for that map. It gives players a bit of guidance what to do. Yeah, you know, when you move into a map in FF14, it always gives you those recommendations. There's a few things like that that I think would be of a massive benefit to the game. One of the only reasons I've enjoyed Secrets of the Obscure and Janthir Wilds as much as I have is because I'm filling out all the achievements and I'm doing the whole thing. And, you know, once you're in that mindset and once you find that rewarding, the game gets so much new life. It's so much more fun and so much more captivating. But a lot of people never get there. At the start of this year, I did a video with some proposals about that, including the achievement track. Speaking of which, by the way, guys, I don't know, drop your smiley faces in chat, maybe. At the start of this year, I made some proposals about mechanical stuff, feature changes I'd like to see with Guild Wars 2. One of them has already been confirmed to be happening, and that's the, well, semi-confirmed, the merging of raids and strikes. I'm guessing there'll be some more feature announcements here. I wonder if there's anything else that I was advocating for or hoping for. I guess we'll see. That might be a bit arrogant of... I'm not saying that they listen to me. I'm just saying that it would be really cool if there were. I don't know whether there are. We'll have a look in just a minute. In fact, right now, really. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, guys. Here's what we're going to do. I am going to... If you missed this last time, I'm going to replay the intro. And then I'm gonna cover this reveal. I'm just gonna go through it. We're gonna look through the objects. I will look at live chat. I will be watching live chat the whole time. If you've got comments, thoughts, whatever, drop them, because I'll immediately start responding to you guys again once we've done it. But I'm gonna do this little section here that I'm gonna spin into a YouTube video, and we'll see it. So I did this last week, and people said it was really good. One of the top comments was a guy who didn't even... He said, "I wish you did videos instead of streams more." Even though it was a stream he was watching, technically. So I'm going to take that as a victory. So, alright, just before I do this, is there anything anyone feels I should know? Is there anything I should know? WP, have you thought about multi-streaming to Twitch? Oh, we just talked about that. No, I'm not interested in doing that. Don't pause the trailer for the first reaction, WP. Oh, but I probably will pause it. How, you want me to watch the whole thing and then go back? That's how I usually do it in an edited video. I edit the whole thing in and then... But to record a video like that, that's not how I do it. 20 Canadian dollars from Hardy. Thanks, man. I forgot affiliate links existed when buying VOE. Oh, Visions of Eternity. That's what it's called, yeah. I don't know how much you make off of them, but this is to make up for it. Tato Wave. Don't really have any questions or such. Love your work. Thanks very much. That's incredibly kind of you. Well, look at that, guys. That's like above and beyond. I would hazard most people don't click the link or don't think about it or whatever. To actually go back. That's so nice of you. Thank you. WP, will you try and guess where the expansion takes place? I don't know. I don't know what they'll reveal. Trailer first, IMO. Well, yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. The blog post segues us into it. Alright, okay, here we go. Someone's talking about the inquest, which I'm assuming is to do with the reveal. We need to be standing in a cool place. In the background. Where should we stand? Where's a happy place? That people will be like, oh yeah, I like that game. Or an on-theme place. God's Lost Swamp? God's Lost Swamp during dawn and dusk is like perfect. Day's pretty good. Stand at a place with the nice reflective waters. And yeah, I know this has been a little bit of a lengthy intro, guys, but what I want this to be is I don't want to have two duplicate productions, right? I don't want people to watch the video bit in a second and then watch the stream and realize it's just the same thing. I want there to be a bit of value on either side. So as far as I'm concerned, value means conversation. There you go. We get the Queensdale music. Let's turn Arc DPS off. For, well, not turn it off, but hide some of the menus. All right, here we go. So I'm going to do an intro. And before Behemoth attacks. I mean, that's fine. I'm down for that. I don't know what the timer is. Right, I'm gonna put us on a black screen for a second as well, so that I can track to it when I'm clipping in YouTube Studio later. Here we go. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another video. If you caught my channel last week, you will have seen Arenanet release some preliminary information about Expansion 6. That would be Mini X-Pack 3. And as of last night, so I'm sort of recording in the middle of the next day here, they've announced the name. I believe we have a release date. We have a trailer and a blog post that talks about, I guess, various features and things. So in this video, I'm going to go through it. This is... so what I usually do when they do a big announcement like this is I go and I read the whole blog post, and then I like sum it up later. I'm trying something a little bit different with the announcement this year. I'm just going to do it blind. This is my first impressions. Right now as I speak, I know basically nothing about this. I know what the logo looks like. I vaguely know what some of the trailers look, the like screenshots look like. And I've panned through the trailer for like a second just to make sure it works. That's about it. I think it's Inquesty related, which is really surprising to me. If this is a big Inquest expansion, I wasn't expecting that at all. At the end of Janthia Wilds, they did a lot of story hooks. They talked about the Pale Tree a ton. Kaith on a whole quest for that. They didn't talk about the Inquest ever. But looking at the logo for the announcement, it looks like it's Inquesty. And the name of the expansion has like Eternity in it too. And I don't know whether that feels somewhat Inquesty to me. You know, when we think of the infinite coil reactor or the eternal alchemy, the Asura belief system, I don't know. So it's a real curveball to me. I guess from Arenanet's perspective, what might be happening here is, and some of you guys watching this video, you might be feeling this. I've seen this feedback a lot through Secrets of the Obscure and through, I mean, hell, even End of Dragons and Janthia Wilds. A lot of people have been saying, you know, I'm not really that into the Guild Wars story anymore because it's so Guild Wars 1 centric. It's Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 1. Now, for the Guild Wars 1 nerds out there like me, or, you know, if you guys have watched my Let's Plays on Guild Wars 1 or whatever, you've read the wiki pages about them, that's awesome, and we've been having a blast. But for a lot of other people, the story doesn't quite hit for them. And they think, well, can we do some Guild Wars 2 stuff? And it's like, well, okay, post-Elder Dragons, what can they latch onto? The Inquest is kind of a brilliant thing. If they're looking to do a very Guild Wars 2 focused story and objective, Inquest is a great place to go. The big, like, outstanding thing with the Inquest has always been we don't really know who their leader is at the top of the chain. So I wonder whether we'll get that here. Are we going to see some crazy revelations in the trailer? Are we going to learn who E is? I don't know. So let's run on in. What I've done for the video is I've prepared a bunch of screenshots of the blog post. Now, unlike some of the other expansion reveals, they were a bit short with this. It's basically just the one blog plus a trailer. So let's jump in. Oh, actually... Oh, man. I've also got... Hold on, let's see. I want to show you guys something else here. A new login screen from Mr. Modius here. As you guys know, he's been making these for the channel for a while. Check this out. Holy crap, that was very loud, wasn't it? That was very loud. Look at how cool this is! Oh my god. I know they said that these old login screens were a security risk, but holy shit. This is just the best. So basically, as time goes forward, guys, I'm going to be doing a lot of press for the expansion. We'll cover all the news as it comes out, and I'll put that login screen on, like, for the intros or the backgrounds. It's going to be so cool. Thanks very much to Mr. Modius for that. And yeah, guys, I will be continuing, because they haven't revealed everything here today. It's just the one blog post. Keep an eye on the channel. You know, I think there's lots of news about elite specs and stuff coming up. If you guys are going to buy it or pre-order it, now last year I didn't know whether I really recommended a pre-order, or the year before. I think at this point you know if you're liking the mini X-Packs. If you are going to buy it, the very top link in the description is my affiliate link. If you hit that, it supports the channel, and it means everything if you do. So I'm not going to keep going on and on about that, but I'll mention it here at the start. So let's see what they got. Here's how the blog post opens. Announcing Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity. By the way, apparently there was a little bit of a leak as well. Maybe, I don't know, a few hours before the main reveal. Some press site gave the information too early. Oh, I'm actually dying in game here. Someone's pulled a Skelk over to me. I guess what we can do is fly into the sky here. So yeah, I guess some people figured this out a bit early and saw the logo or whatever. I was basically still in the dark until right now. So by the Guild Wars 2 team, July 15th. Today we're thrilled to announce our next expansion, Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity, and its release date. Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity launches on October 28th, 2025, and like the previous 2 expansions, will bring with it a year of story chapters, 3 major content updates. You can get an overview of what to expect from our 6th expansion on the official page, and we'll be sharing tons of additional details between now and launch. Immediately, actually, I haven't looked. So how detailed is the official page? Maybe we'll do another video on that. But there, as you guys see, the release date is October 28th. That's Halloween. That's not unheard of for Guild Wars. I think Heart of Thorns released around Halloween's. Remember, they had like the Night Fury Mystic Forge recipe came in at the same time, and I'm pretty sure it was a Halloween release. I think some of us were expecting mini X-Packs to be like every summer. But I don't think Arenanet ever fully confirmed that. I think they just gave a ballpark of every one year to 1.5 or something. The delay, so to speak, on this has actually been known for a long time. They tacitly announced this on the forums around Christmas, that there was going to be like an extra 3 months of development on this. I think it's a knock-on effect from the fact that Janthea Wilds came out like later in summer than Seekers of the Obscure did, maybe, or something. But anyway, so what that does, guys, is that puts us about, 3 months away, which will be plenty of time for them to explain it and reveal as much as they can with it, I assume. So, adventure on an unknown island. Tyria's leaders, I've never read this, Tyria's leaders are anxious about rumors of covert inquest voyages launched in search of Castora. Castora I've never heard of. It's not a thing in lore that I know about. Castora is an island so remote that it's long been thought to be inaccessible or even non-existent. The risks involved prevent all but the most tenacious and perhaps foolhardy of pursuers from investigating the Inquest's plan. Your race to discover the Inquest plot will lead you across 2 new open-world regions at launch, each filled with magical energies and strange creatures. 2 additional maps will open as the story continues over the course of the year. If you followed my coverage last week, I already explained this. Yeah, Quarter 1 is not a content update this year. It's more of a feature pack update. We don't know what those features are yet. Maybe by the end of this blog post. For Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity, we'll be releasing story chapters differently than we've done for the previous 2 expansions. To read about this and other insights, check out our retrospective blog from last week. Oh, they do consider last week's thing a retrospective. Interesting. It felt like a retrospective. So a new island. All right. Okay. I guess we got to talk about this straight away. An unknown island. Inaccessible, even in non-existent. The first thing that jumps to my mind, and it's gonna be this for everyone, I think, that's into the lore on any level, is Utopia and the island of Zoteka. So if you guys don't know the story here, that's in Guild Wars 1, they had Prophecies, the original release. Then they had a whole new campaign in the south, in Cantha, with factions. Then they did a whole other one, Nightfall, in the below the Crystal Desert in Alona. And they were planning on doing another one. It was going to be another one. It was going to be called Utopia, and it was set on another island, another landmass, probably with, there was a tutorial island, and just like Cantha had a tutorial island. There was probably going to be another one, and it was going to be called the Isle of Zoteka. But it got cancelled because they wanted to be more ambitious with the game engine, and eventually they made Guild Wars 2 instead. That's the end of the story, really. Some of the art and concept art got rolled into Eye of the North and so on. Until about, 5 years ago, an official art book came out. A Guild Wars 2 official art book. And in the art book, they had a bunch of information about this island, Zoteka. And they spoke about lore on the island as though it was canon. So it's now like this semi-canon thing where it's like, wow, wait, is that still a part of the world building, Zoteka? It was going to be a very, time travel, mist-themed expansion. One of the classes was going to be the Chronomancer. A lot of dead heroes and things were going to be alive again. So now fast forward to today, we're in mini X-Packs. The unifying thing of mini X-Packs is this theme of the mists and extra Tyrian threats. Zoteka, the Utopia stuff, kind of fits quite well into it. If it's like a weird, magically drifting island, invisible island, difficult to find island, Zoteka's perfect, right? I think the idea of a mini X-Pack at Zoteka is great. But then we come to the post, and it's not called Zoteka. It's called Castora. Like, everything they've written here could be describing Zoteka, but they use the word Castora instead, which is interesting to me. Now, here's my theory straight away. I think it is Zotaker. I think it's just going by another name. What's another example of that? It's like Glint and Vlast, you know, it's the same thing. It just kind of had a Guild Wars 2 name to conceal it a little bit, or like it had changed a bit. I wonder if it's the same thing. I wonder if as we play through the story, there's going to be a bit of a rug pull moment. Maybe not too far in, maybe Act 1 or something, where we realize, oh shit, this is it. This is Guild Wars Utopia. This is Guild Wars 1's Utopia stuff. I mean, it's a complicated story with a lot of elements to it because so much of Utopia was folded into Eye of the North. But at the end of the day, if they consider it part of the canon... My other thing that I'm wondering about is, okay, it's a remote, inaccessible island, long thought not to exist. Does that mean we can't see it on the world map right now? So where could it be on the world map? This, I feel like, is such a brilliant candidate because it feels like it's got detail there or whatever. But I don't know. I also very often get the impression that when Arenanet draw all of this map art in, they don't always have very structured ideas of what they're doing. The question is, why is it invisible? Sorry, not why is it invisible, but why is it so hard to find? And the thing is, Guild Wars lore is very thin in some places. One of the places it's thin is in terms of like communication with distant continents. We get no information about it. You know, like Ellen Keel could talk to us a lot about shipping lanes, like the Battle Isles. What kind of knowledge do we have of the Battle Isles? Do people in Istan sail there regularly? I mean, you'd think they might. Do people in Kaineng or the Great Turtle Highlands or something? Like, you would think there's something, but it's one of those things where we in the audience don't know because it's just never been tabled. So that question now sort of applies to the idea of a whole new island. What do I think they'll do? I think they might just dump it. I don't want this. I wonder if we'll get like a Dragonfall type thing, where basically just a landmass appears out in the water somewhere in the unending ocean. I don't want that because to me, speculating about the future in Guild Wars, like I like to think of the map as concrete, and when they do stuff like Dragonfall, it kind of like debases it somehow. But I don't know. I don't know why I don't think it's this. I mean, maybe it is this. If there's Inquest there, we had a lot of Inquests nearby-ish. Maybe. And Janthir Wilds, see, this is the other thing. Janthir Wilds had so many hooks and so many story ideas for places we might go. But the Inquest wasn't anything. They did, however, talk about Dizlana a few times. I know that the label for Dizlana is really high up here. But actually, I feel like it's, you know, as far as I remember from the earlier labels, it was further to the right. Or maybe Guild Wars 1 suggested it was further to the right. I don't know. Is this it? Is this Castora? What did they call it again? Castora? That's new to me. I don't know. I'll be mind blown if that's mentioned. I mean, it almost feels like a Sylvari area, doesn't it? Wait, Castora Waypoint. Isn't that a thing in Ore, maybe? Castoria? Was Castoria a thing? Anyway, I think it's new. And so what does that give them? A totally clean slate, I guess, to do whatever they want. The idea of an island adventure is also very thrilling to me because what I really want is that sense of an adventure. Start on one place, spread across it, you know. I guess the other thing about that place on the world map I was just looking at is it big enough to sustain the full mini-X pack? I mean, that really... Maybe launch... What would we say? Half a map and then half a map? Maybe? And then what? For the post-patches, there's 2 more maps coming, right? Could be anywhere, doing anything. We might have a Nios situation again. So there we go. We're racing to discover the Inquest plot. Now, what might the Inquest plot be? I'm thinking it's Menzies. I think Janthir Wilds, as messy as it is with the storytelling, and I'm not a very big fan of how Janthir Wilds ended, I do think that Menzies manipulating that faction might have something to do with it. I would like to see a reveal for the big wig. We might get some follow-ups from, like, Kudu's daughter, remember, that we had in Sandswept Isle? Could we get a subject Theta? I don't know. I kind of like the idea of lots of Inquests because, again, it will be a shake-up on the sort of enemies we fight again, you know? I'm ready to fight some more golems and things. But, yeah, the idea that Menzies is maybe manipulating them or they're collegial in some way could be a thing. Right, so I believe around now on the blog post, they link the trailer. So here's a screenshot. This is... You know, it's funny I just mentioned Dragonfall. That looks so much like Dragonfall to me. It's interesting seeing all the leyline energy inside that tree. Is that leyline energy? Just a super magical jungly forest. We kind of knew it was going to be a jungle biome because the Elite Specialization teasers that they've been doing the past little while have had like that jungly background. And I did say in my coverage of that, you know, guys, this could be anywhere. You know, it doesn't mean the Maguma jungle necessarily. I mean, even Secrets of the Obscure had jungle in it via the, you know, the horn, I guess, but, you know, the fractal section. So what I think I'm going to do, guys, I want to watch the trailer. I don't know about you guys. I want to watch the trailer. I'm completely blind on this. I'm going to cut the game footage here so that it's muted. And okay, so I have the power to pause this and do commentary at any moment. I'm going to watch it in full. And then we will do the commentary, okay? And I'll probably go back and start pausing. So let's see what we've got. The trailer. Look at that. Look at that logo, man. It's so good. God, the sound effects. Oh, wait. This is still just the login screen. Hold on 1 second. I had the trailer queued up and then obviously swapped to that. Okay, here's the trailer. Oh, shit.
The Inquest are searching for, we need to find it first.
Must resist urge to pause.
These fools have no idea the power that's
Whoa.
buried here. The ley energies on Castora flow in abundance. The wildlife is vicious. Finding the future requires exceptional vision. We will use every tool at our disposal. After this is done, they'll remember us forever.
Oh, is that him? Is that the big guy? Oh, that's cool with the raptors. What would you sacrifice for power? Interesting. There we go, and here's there. Dude, their art department has not missed a beat. Look at how good that logo is. It's like I was saying with the Elite Specialization reveals. The art, the concept art is still just as good as it was 10 years ago, you know, with launch. That's incredible. Okay, wow. All right, so a lot of thoughts. First of all, actually seeing the Inquest, you know what? For a while there, I did have Inquest fatigue, specifically around Sandswept, you know, or like the Inquest were there at Draconis Mons, and you know, the Inquest just kept popping up over and over and over and over again. But we've had a good break from them for now. Okay, here's what really strikes me. So much nautical stuff. Are they gonna... Okay, seriously, guys, I don't know what they're about to show. Are they gonna reveal that sailing is a thing? I mean, we have skiffs already. Are there, like, big skiffs? Is that one of the features? The thing is, it's interesting there's so much nautical stuff, because I was expecting... I would have thought, if I was Arenanet, right, I'd probably have on my whiteboard of ideas, like some kind of water expansion, deep sea monster, Raisu Palace maybe, whatever, like a watery expansion. And you'd probably think, well, let's save all of those themes for that. But it looks like, you know, they're just going big with it, with sailing there. There was so much piratey stuff we just saw a minute ago. Kind of makes me think of the Fractal, actually. Siren's Reef. Anyway, okay, so... This is cool. I don't remember... Actually, that ship model, I think that's one of the ships you used to be able to climb around on in Lion's Arch, no? But it looks good. It's like a nice galleon. By the way, the wind in the sky. Do you guys see like the clouds and stuff moving? Is that just to give an impression of it moving? Or is it... we'll get some cool sky effects. Here! Okay. Is that Saida? Like all pumped up and looking posh? No way, right? Also, I'm guessing the one on the left is the stand-in for the commander? Maybe? Look at this! Look at the waves! Oh my god, that's really good. In Jandir Wilds, if you guys haven't played it or you didn't follow too closely, they actually had some good water physics going on, you know, some nice, like, waves lapping at the shorelines. They did make improvements. Dude, look at that. It's like stormy, tempesty waters. Maybe this is the kind of watery expansion. Right? Who's to say you can't do Inquest at the same time? That looks incredible. Then here, look at the clear, turquoise, crisp waters. You guys know me. You know for years I've been asking for the Mittani keys. You know for years and years and years I've been saying I'd love to go to the Mittani keys. Let's get some game audio back, shall we? This I'm guessing isn't the Mittani keys, but this is the kind of vibe I wanted. Wow, look at the boat shipwrecked really high up on the rock there. That's a bit like ore. I like those floating blue plants too. New assets. That's the other thing. I've said this every announcement. New assets always make my heart sing. I want to see new assets. That big orange tree in the background there as well is new. I've seen a good amount of them in this trailer, so that's very cool. Isgarin is here. I'm not sure who that character on the left is that's walking forwards. There was some voiceover that suggested they were speaking, weren't there? I guess this will be a thing where this is like a big mystical ancient place or whatever, and Isgarin can fill us in a bit. Whether there'll be really deep ties to Seer culture or something here, I don't know. Lots more floating islands and things. Oh, and there was some kind of cool bug in the background there too. This looks nice, but also, I'm going to be honest, very POF in a lot of ways. But POF was, in my opinion, the most beautiful expansion. Look at that. Look at that shot. Do you know what? That's a lot like Morgan's Spiral in Caledon Forest. You know, the jumping puzzle where there's an event at the bottom and you've got to grow the tree and then you can climb up. And there's actually 2 jumping puzzles back to back. It reminds me of that. Orbs in the sky, I'm guessing we can sky scale around on and collect. Guessing. They're kind of a different color, though. They're a different vibe to the normal ley magic that we'd find floating around. Speaking of ley magic's a big thing here. Isn't Aurene regulating and sorting all this shit out? So yeah, here, this is more Dragonfall-y feeling areas. Look at it, it's quite gorgeous. Lots of verticality. I'm still a little bit cynical when it comes to new map exploration, I must be honest, guys, because mounts kind of have deteriorated it quite a lot for me. I still believe in a format of Guild Wars 2 where you slowly unlock access to the mounts as you do map comp. But hey, got some nice classic mowers there. Look at this tree! Look at that tree! Holy shit, that's good. And what is this? Is that a raptor mount or just an enemy? One thing I've said over and over again is the skins they invent for the mounts should be enemies. We should be able to fight them. They should be able to repurpose them into combat rigs and have them as enemies. That looks really cool. So colourful. Someone casting some kind of a spell. Crystals in the back. I'm guessing that's probably one of the new elite specializations. Here we got a giant lobster thing. My instinct is to say shark, but let's not. Again, that's a very fresh, very new feeling enemy, isn't it? You know, look at Secrets of the Obscure. Look how much judgment was levied at Secrets of the Obscure for the Cryptis. You know, doing the Picasso-style, just jumbled mess of enemies that really didn't capture people. Look at the criticism levied even at End of Dragons. That was a full-funded expansion for, you know, just doing so many void enemies where it's basically just a black filter on these things. People want new enemies. People want exciting new assets and models. And this looks pretty good, you know? And it summons a big tidal wave. That's very Naga-esque, isn't it? Speaking of End of Dragons. Okay, and now this. All right. I'm guessing this is a skimmer. Every mini-X pack has reworked a mount. My guess was the Roller Beetle. They recently did a new Roller Beetle course. Its acquisition is a bit weird. But looking at this, if that's a skimmer, like a bug version of a skimmer, don't we see it flying and shooting? I'm guessing the skimmer rework's coming. That crocodile thing looks awesome. New pets, by the way? Here, look. This is clearly a guy on a skimmer. And by the way, the skimmers with wings, that's probably really novel to you guys. And like, wow, that looks really exciting. Because it's cool as shit. My favorite skimmer skin for years has been the hummingbird. Like, they nailed that years ago. Like, one of the legendary, so to speak, skimmer skins. I think they work really well with, like, the fluttering animation. So if everyone gets to have that... You know, when we got the... Warclaw, we kind of got a different version. When you got the Sky Scale, you had another path to get it. If it unlocks this, that's badass. And look, he's clearly shooting. Wow, so combat capabilities. The rework involves allowing you to fight a little. I'm not sure about that right now, guys. Sky Scale combat isn't really that interesting to me. I'm not the kind of person that sits there in a meta event spamming the fireball. I know some people do, but doesn't it often feel a bit leechy and a bit iffy? You know, whenever I get on the turtle to slam against a wall, it's not that captivating gameplay. I'd rather be the gunner shooting, but they've never invented anything that has you running around recharging ammo well enough, because the drive is usually stationary hitting the wall. So I don't know how I feel about combat mounts yet. And they haven't done like mount phases in fractals or raids or whatever, or converge. I mean, convergent, they could do something good with that. Maybe next year's convergence has a cool skimmer combat phase. I feel like Arenanet hasn't quite got there for me for a lot of that so far. Because it's a hard balance to hit. You can't make the combat on the thing too good, because then people will never get off it. So it has to have some kind of like limit or whatever. I guess we'll see. The theme of the attacks look very similar to the Leyline energy. And look at this, just more piratey stuff. I don't know who these characters are. We get another cast. Oh man, see, I was just getting to know Poised Arrow. Who are all these people? Is this just showcasing skins that you get for the pre-order bonus? I really hate that weapon on the right. I think that looks so ugly. But, I mean, it's pretty par for the course. Look at that in the background, by the way. Is that a jackal? Is that like a warclaw or something? Floating like some kind of nature spirit back there? Look at that thing. Look at it. What is that? This, okay, yeah, I think these are player characters, I think these are player characters, not like NPCs we meet. And why I say that is because these money bags on screen, that's a totally new animation. I've never seen anything like that. I'm guessing that's a part of the new elite specialization. So I'm guessing that's like a bounty hunter. It's a guy with a rifle. So one of the classes that can use rifle. Money, it's got to be bounty hunter. One of the new icons. So there is a video coming where me and Boots sit down and we say what we think everything is. I don't know where this blog post will go into more detail. But I'm guessing that's a bounty hunter, which means... Okay, so what might the others be? So she's some kind of fire dancer, maybe? I don't know. She's very scantily dressed. And, I mean, what the hell can I learn about that Norn in the front, in the middle? Is she a Norn? Looks like a Mesmer with a staff. I don't see anything distinct that it's doing with it. Oh, this thing might be... Ah, you know what? There was a quick frame where we saw the caster casting. And then we saw this. I think this is a summon. Oh my god. Is it possible that the Guild War... No. The Guild War Suit Ritualist is definitely on Necro. We've seen the concept art. That looks like a familiar. Or that's like an elemental... That's like a fire attunement elemental companion. I think that's a part of the fire spec. For Ellie. I think it gets NPC allies. So then we see the bounty hunter. Ah. And then that was the Mesmer playing a flute. So the Mesmer is the minstrel. That was a Mesmer playing a flute, so yeah. Well, there you go. That's 3 of the elite specs. Like, straight up, I'm 90% confident about all of those. Then we get into some Inquesty stuff. Nice, different vibe. Again, feels very Sandswept to me. But I love Sandswept. It was one of the highest quality maps they ever did. The things they did with the engine and stuff there. I mean, that's gorgeous. Look at that. That wouldn't take much to be a very, very, very good like desktop wallpaper. Got another giant cannon. Now, is the architecture very similar just because they only have so many assets to play with? Or is it very similar because some of the experimentation they were doing last time we saw them is deeply related to this? I love these lasers going off. The suggestion there's like laser towers off in the distance. So then there's someone running. Ritlock is in the background. Hello! Ritlock main cast member, very excited about that. That's going to be cool as shit. I'm looking forward to adventuring with him again. And that's funny, because Janthir Wilds really tried to make it seem like he was about to retire or step away from things. Definitely Ritlock there. Love it. And yeah, this Sasura Necro has got to be the stand-in for the commander here. I guess is a ritualist, maybe? That's sick. I don't know what that thing on the floor was. Ritlock and Isgaran. I wonder what scenes are going to be like between those two. Those are two characters I really like. Someone dead on the floor over there as well. And this. Okay, I think that guy's got to be the leader of the Inquest. Look at him. You know, I always imagined him to be a really old, curmudgeon-y dude. Like Flunt, but not comedic, actually, you know. Like, I really like the idea that he's been holding on to power for ages through cybernetically augmenting himself or magitechically augmenting himself or whatever you like. But it looks like he's much more younger and ferocious. I don't know. I could be wrong. But this is very fascinating to me. So those raptors, we've had like raptor skins in the game already that have like hollow, holographic armaments and stuff, right? That's not those skins exactly, is it? Are they new skins? It's very curious to me that they're flanking him like they're going to fight, which I think is really exciting. I also like the idea of getting a lot of story about his two, like, nasty pets or whatever. Look at these things. Look at how cool they are. And one of those big golems in the back. What would you sacrifice for power? I think that question is alluding to the previous shot as well. What is this guy sacrificed for power? What are the Inquest doing here, you know? And maybe the commander will be asked this too. Really beautiful, gorgeous. Okay, there you go. That's the trailer. That's my first impressions, frame by frame, or let's say shot by shot. Let's be real here. Trailer analysis. Now, there's more to come though. Let's get back here in game. Let me have a real quick look here. I don't mean to bag the video down and make it too long. I know you guys want shorter videos. Mounts. If I just type hollow, or if we click the raptor and we type... No, it's not hollow. What is it? There's definitely like a holographic raptor skin, and I've got it. Oh god, there's so many to mouse over. Maybe I don't have it, actually. Maybe... the exosuit. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, the exosuit is slightly different. I know the colors are different there. It's not an exosuit raptor. That's quite exciting. It's interesting as well. If they're doing the skimmer overhaul and all of that he doesn't have two skimmer pets. But that would look a lot, you know, goofier and sillier than what we've ended up getting, I suppose. So, hey. All right. Next image here. So, there you go. We get a screenshot. We saw that in the trailer. Expansion features! Okay, what do we got here? New elite specializations. Well, we already knew about this, but let's go see what they have to say. Elite specializations are back! Exclamation mark. And well-earned! Exclamation mark. That is indeed Arenanet. Give yourselves a pat on the back for that. Influences from members of the Tyrian Alliance bring new ways to play each of our 9 professions. In Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity, you'll experience new trait lines, profession mechanics, healing, utility, elite skills, adding many new ways to play your characters. From the August 20th to 27th. Oh, okay, so a ways away from now. We're holding an in-game preview week for you to beta test all of them. When that preview arrives, we'll ask you for feedback to help us take each elite specialization through the polish phase and into launch. That'll be a big moment. I remember being very disappointed in the End of Dragons stuff, which still feels so recent to me, but Jesus, three releases ago now. We'll be back next week to kick off a series of blogs and live streams to talk about them in great detail. Oh my god, I'm going to cover those, definitely. How am I going to juggle my Oblivion LP and some of the other stuff I want to do in the channel with all of this? Oh god. Oh, nice. Okay, good. And if it's a week for each elite spec or whatever, I'm very excited about that. I think that's quite clever, by the way. We've had a few conversations. Are the elite specializations going to be like all on theme with the new area? And it's a nice idea, right? But I've sort of pointed out they've never really done that well. They tried very hard with End of Dragons, but here, just saying, look, they're influences from the Tyrian Alliance. What that means is they can do any kind of elite spec, any theme they like, and still have a stand-in character to talk about it, represent it. That leads to us a whole other world of speculation, guys. Maybe pause the video, give me your thoughts. Who then is the Bard? Oh my god, are we going to get Ho-Ho-Tron back? That would be amazing. So who is, you know, who's the Ritualist going to be? Who's the Paragon? Very curious. And whatever the other names are here. So that's fine. There you go. We get an image of the Bard there. Oh, so it had a flute in the trailer. It has... I don't know what string instrument this is. That's a lute. Is that a lute? I mean, I really don't know. Do you pluck a lute? Is she plucking that? Anyway, I like the ghostly purple one in the background. So there's at least 2 instruments. Skimmer Mastery. In Visions of Eternity, the Skimmer mount will be featured with new and updated mechanics. Hover, dive, and soar faster than ever before as you explore the dangerous and beautiful environments of Castora. There's a weird thing going on with the mount overhauls at the moment, where they're like so power crept, they're breaking the balance. You know, there was a beautiful balance with the release of POF. Like, for example, to be honest, guys, how many of you still use the Raptor? I mean, if you're a fair weather Guild Wars player, you don't think about it too much. You haven't been really invested. Maybe you still use the Raptor a lot. But at the end of the day, the Warclaw is just like such a premium mount in so many ways. I very rarely skimmer. Sorry, I very rarely Springer. I very rarely Raptor now. Warclaw just does so much for me. Warclaw and Skyscale. And it's not even like those are the domain of prestige, you know, elite players. You get them very easily in these new expansions. I kind of like the skimmer because it still has quite a clearly well-defined niche. I wonder, once we're soaring and spinning everywhere now, will we be all skimmer mode? I guess we'll see. Maybe these things don't matter. In 2026, raids and strikes will be unified under the same structure, improving access for new players, streamlining rewards. We're also investing in systems that help facilitate group content. We'll talk more about in the future. 2 new raid encounters, including challenge mode and legendary mode, will be added in the major updates to Visions of Eternity. In addition, a new convergence and a fractal with a challenge mode will also release in the final expansion update next year, giving players lots of obstacles to tackle and overcome. Let me just say, I know some of you guys will just be sort of rolling your eyes or not really caring about the convergence. I actually am really into convergences. I quite like them. I like doing the CMs. I thought Mount Barrier was pretty good. It really warmed on me over time. I mean, I've done 100 of them now for the achievement, and it was only in the back 30 or so, and once the CMs were out that it really started to click, and I realized I really did like it. But yeah, I'm quite excited about that. What's very interesting here is it's not strikes. I thought we'd leapfrog strikes, raids. We're not. We went strike missions with Secrets of the Obscure. Oh, what am I talking about? It doesn't matter. They're all the same thing now, aren't they? Of course. What am I? That's old hat, WP. Move on. Secrets of the Obscure did have raids, right? The Temple of Febe is a raid. The Cosmic Observatory is a raid, or it will be once they're unified. So yeah, okay. So there you have it. I'm a little disappointed here. We knew this already from last week's reveal. They alluded last week to systems that help facilitate group content. They alluded to it. We're all thinking it, right? Matchmaking. LFG matchmaking. Look, that is a mountain of a topic. I get it, right? Especially with role structure and there's so many things to talk about with that. But anything in that ballpark will be epically good for Guild Wars 2. It was one of the things I talked about in my video at the start of this year. I want details on that. Here they are, but they just say in the future. Oh, God. Do you know what I'm nervous about? There's going to be another World versus World Alliance type situation where we're just hearing about it for ages and ages. I hope it's coming next year, and I hope they do well. There's so many ways they can mess that up, and there's so much like technical expertise and stuff they'll need in hand with it. But that could be good. It's just a shame we don't get full details here on the announcement. Here we get another screenshot of our lobster friend. Look at his shiny carapace. He's got the weird black smoke on him up there. Is there a Menzies influence going on? Legendary treasures. Over the course of the expansion and the subsequent content updates, players can pursue 6 new legendary items. 3 weapons, a ring and accessory, and the long-requested Aqua Breather. This kind of is their water expansion in a way then, isn't it? Holy shit! You know, one of the things I've loved about Janthir Wilds is like having those 2 legendaries to go for. They really meant a lot to me, and it really gave me a lot of meaningful playtime. I actually just started looking into Obsidian Armor, which I skipped last year. But I'm kind of in that mode. I like them. But I think it's because it was doable in Janthir Wilds to get everything, because there was only 2. 6 next year? Oh my god. Why? What made them do 3 weapons? Do you guys think that they're doing all 3 underwater weapons? It's not because they're totally new weapons, right? That would have been a feature announcement. I think the ring and accessory were my expectation. You know, we had armor one year, we had weapons the other year, plus a backpack. Getting rings and accessories again is exciting-ish, I guess. I mean, the way that the game's structured, a bit less so, but maybe the visuals are cool. Who knows? If they had a ring that had a visual a bit like Zaquatl gives you, you know, like a companion or something, I'd be all about that. I would absolutely love that. But wow, they're doing all of it, plus the Aqua Breather. Jeez. I will probably get the Aqua Breather just for the novelty of having a pure legendary character. Oh, but then again, so little of this trailer and so few of these screenshots have shown actual underwater stuff. When I've thought about the big water expansion, I think Turtle, Skimmer, I think underwater, you know, bubbles of existence down there, air pockets or whatever. Anyway, wow, 6, that's a surprise to me. A new homestead. Okay, good confirmation of this. I think this was very obvious that they were going to do this, personally. Players who own both Janthir Wilds and Visions of Eternity will get to unlock a whole new homestead. You'll be, and this is perfect. I know some people will say, oh, it's anti-consumer or whatever. You know, you can get hysterical about this stuff. To me, everyone's finances are at their own finances. Mini expats are not that expensive. They're not that tall of an order. And I think cross-pollinating the features, just as you get Jade Bot stuff in the recent mini expats, just as there's been fishing to do in the recent expats for people who have had End of Dragons, I think cross-pollinating the features is really smart. And it will encourage people who buy the new one to actually play Janthir Wilds as well. Because you get a new homestead. That's really good. I wonder what it will be. Will it be like a nice island sanctuary on a beautiful remote island or something? The beaches? I will definitely move if it is. Because as you guys know, I like the homestead feature in principle, but I didn't really do much of it in Janthir Wilds. You'll also be able to save your decoration layout and freely swap between the Janthiri and Castoran maps with the new layouts feature. We'll share more information about the new homestead and layouts in the coming months. That's quite interesting. I think a lot of people will probably read that and it will blow their mind that that was a feature. But it's funny, as a guild leader, I know that if you swap your guild hall from, like, you know, why am I blanking on the name? The Lost Precipice to the Gilded Hallow. It just already keeps all your decorations. It just dumps them in the new map at the same coordinates. It doesn't line up very well, but that's because they never thought about it. With this, with the homesteads, all they really have to do is keep the coordinates the same, right? For where the floor is and stuff. And they sort of get that feature as a freebie almost. You know, codify it a bit, give it some UI, which is what I guess they're doing. So that's cool, a natural thing to do. I like that. And a new homestead, brilliant. I was thinking these were perfect for mini X-Packs, new homestead each time. I hope this also means that it's earned them a bit of money and, you know, homestead-related stuff is selling on the Gemstone, whatever. I haven't engaged with any of that. But hopefully enough people have that it means, you know, they'll continue to fund the feature. Because that's what we don't want. We don't want to see features just disappear, do we? So what will it be? I can conjure multiple doorways now? Other rewards. The Wizard's Vault will continue to offer seasonal rewards for players to earn as they play through the expansion. New relics. Yeah, what a surprise. Wizard's Vault, what a surprise. New armors, weapons, recipes, emotes, and more. I mean, that's obligatory there, isn't it? Okay. The features section has been okay. There's less here on features than I wanted. We knew about Elites, but Elites, look, just because we knew about it already, it doesn't mean it's not a brilliant. It's great. It's a great value for the expansion. So big win there. Okay, fair enough. It's not news for us in this video, but big win. Skimmer Master, we were expecting a mount rework, right? Whether it was the Skimmer or the Beetle or the Turtle or whatever, we were kind of expecting that, right? So maybe a little bit less exciting. They already talked about the raids and combat thing. I don't know. Maybe this has just been slightly spoiled for me because I already knew a lot of it. It's a shame there's no more details on the matchmaking thing. 6 legendaries is big news to me. That's very exciting. It's great to see confirmation of another homestead. But there's nothing like... Well, no, I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I was hoping to see guild reworks. I really wanted to see guild stuff improved this mini X back. I wanted to see some of it put into the Wizard's Vault. I wanted to see achievement points and some of the UI panels changed. I wanted to see an in-game archive. So, you know, the more that the game relies on lore books and exploration information, the more that needs to be in players' faces. There's a lot of, like, infrastructure and UI stuff I think Guild Wars could really benefit from that I talked about at the start of the year. You know, I even talked about stuff like combat tonics being rideable on mounts to make them more valuable rewards and stuff. There's none of that, really. And there you go. And this last screenshot, I think, is just all the stuff. If you pre-order, this is the stuff you get. I'm not going to look, it's in my best interest to tell you guys this is all amazing. Woo! Look at that hat! Look at the outfit. Oh my god, you look like the Emperor on Zelish in Little Big Adventure 2. Wow. Look at that. You get a new shared inventory slot, a level 80 boost. Look at the weapons. Aren't they incredible? I actually think those weapons, I'm not going to lie, are unbelievably gaudy and ugly. But maybe you like them. To each their own. Pre-order now. Link in the description. Pre-purchase bonus. Oh, there you go. And that's them listing off. You guys can pause the video on this one. I'm not going to read that out for you. If you'd like to see the extra stuff you'd get. Oh, there's an extra bit here. Fashion forwards. We have one final feature. Oh, that will launch in one of the major updates. One of these, so not a launch, but it's coming next year. And it will be available to all players, regardless of expansion ownership. Fashion templates. Oh my god, this could be cool. Okay, I'm going to have one opportunity to talk about this blind, so I'm going to do it now. What I would like from fashion templates, I've been an advocate of a feature like this. What I've always wanted from Guild Wars. Okay, when I was looking at those weapons a second ago, the thing is, guys, there's too many skins in the game now. There's too many skins. You know, 6 more legendaries. Well, I already like Meteorologicus. I'm never going to make another Scepter. You know, that kind of thing. Look at this. I'm going to humble brag a little bit here. I have 342 foci. I don't need... Look at this. So, you know, when they add a new Black Lion set or something, what am I going to do with all these skins? They're really, for an established player, it doesn't mean very much. One thing that I've always thought would be really good to, like, recapture that magic, recapture that love, is if you could have, like, a build template, a fashion template, that not only you can swap... I guess it will be a third column, maybe, down here, that you can swap to, sure, but I would like to assign templates to areas of the world. That's what the dream is for me. So what I mean by that is, while my character here, Gux, is in Crater, he's wearing this. When I go to the Shiver Peaks, automatically it swaps him to the other template I assigned for the Shiver Peaks. And now in the Shiver Peaks, I'm wearing, you know, I'm wearing this, you know, my snowy outfit, right? And that's up to me to roleplay. I can pick the skins, I can pick the backpack, I can pick the glider, I can pick the weapons, I can pick the minis, I can pick the title. Look at all the titles in the game at this point. By binding them to regions, I think that would be really fun, especially if that functionality was introduced to players when they first get into the game. Region by region by region, that would be incredible. And then I would seriously start looking at a lot more skins, a lot more dies, a lot more rewards, and that incentive to play would be so much stronger. And that ultimately, that's the big thing about Guild Wars. When people get in, they need to know what to play and what to go for, and making skins exciting is a big part of that. So that's my wish for fashion templates. Let's see what Arenanet have got for us. One final feature. Fashion templates function similarly to build and equipment templates, allowing players to save a template of the aesthetic features for their armor, their back, their outfit, their dies. So it's everything build templates do plus outfits. It's not titles, it's not minis, it's not novelties. We'll share more information in the future about them and all the other features coming. Ah, there's no detail! What are the odds that they go the whole way? What are the odds they do region bounding? You know, it suddenly occurred to me that you're probably only going to get like 3 slots, and you're going to buy another slot for 400 gems on the... And that's not going to go down well. People don't remember this very well, but I'll, as objectively as I possibly can, one of the big controversies about early Icebrood Saga was that they didn't sell it as an expansion, but they were selling the build templates. That was a big deal for a lot of people. I wonder if Arenanet will fall in a similar trap this time. You can read more details. It'll be a busy summer as we prepare to set sail for Castora. Codename Zoteka? So stay tuned for more information. Wow. So they had a sneaky little announcement at the end there. This post was amended on July 15th with the corrected list of features managed by fashion templates. Oh. Well, that's good. That's very ethical that they've noted it. But what did it say originally? What was their original announcement entailing? Interesting. And then we just have a screenshot reel here, guys. Got someone on a new skimmer. This looks to me to be a ranger with the new spec. Birds? You know, if you have a warhorn, you can already summon birds to people. Are you like a falconer? I mean, look, it's got the one big glove. One of the elite spec icons is like a bow-looking thing. That looks quite interesting. Oh, I'm so interested in what the new skills and stuff are for the new elite specs. It feels like they've gone with good themes for once. I feel like Arenanet have been really iffy about the themes through POF and EOD. This new wave, I don't know, man. I mean, what are those birds? Are they doves? I think that's... We've seen that in the trailer, that one there. That beautiful tree again, flying up there. Don't forget, a lot of these might become decorations. What if that's the homestead? Kind of feels like it might be, right? Flat, quite open. Here we've got more of these raptors in pens. This looks like an ancient Asura gate that's been shut down for years, maybe. Is this how the Inquest discovered this? Feels a bit like those Orion rings as well, you know, the giant arches and all, but I don't... I mean, if it is that, then it's very God-influenced, which does tie into the end of Janthia Wilds and maybe Zoteka stuff. But I'm thinking it's an old Asura gate. There's those trees with the ley lines. Oh, do you know what? That's probably the homestead. I reckon that's the homestead. That's an interesting looking building, isn't it? A lot of people were asking for the new homestead to be demolishable. Maybe have prefab things in it. Wow. And maybe that's a little bit more. This is the final screenshot. Wow. Well, there you go, guys. Okay, so there's my coverage. That's what they revealed last night. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this mini X-Pack. And guys, I'd really like a lot of comments because I'd like to do like a Q&A back and forth with you all if we get some good discussion going. Can I also say, let me know if you're excited about this, let down, whatever. Tell me what your experience with the game is these days. Like let me know. Are you actively playing? Did you buy Mini 1, Mini 2, and now you're opting out of 3? Did you skip them all, but now you're fully back on board? Like, what's your experience in the recent years? You know, for a long time, I used to be able to make videos, talk to you guys in the community, and just assume everyone had played everything. But it's not really that case anymore, and I'm interested in the full gamut of thoughts on it. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Much appreciated. Again, link is in the description if you want to check out the shop, see how much it costs in your currency or whatever. And if you do use it, it supports me. Thank you all. Keep an eye on the channel over the upcoming days as Arenanet reveal more information. I'll be doing a video recording with Boots very soon on the Elite Specializations. And, I'll note as well, I have an expanded version of this video that I originally produced live over on the live tab on YouTube. So if you click that, you can get to some discussion before and after. Thanks very much for watching, guys. And I will see you next time. All right, I'm back. Hello. I'm not going to lie, guys. That feels really weird. It feels really weird just seeing chat flying by there. I know it's a bit of a joke that I don't read chat enough, but I really do. I do keep an eye on it. But during that, I'm not... I mean, fuck me. Did I fix the outro? No, it still breaks. I need to buy an SSD, but I don't really have any money for one. Hey, if people use the link, I might get some SSDs. Because I think my hard drive is hitching when it tries to read as I do the outro. It's really weird doing videos like that. I think the editing's still a bit iffy. Like, there were lots of little moments there. If that was a normal video, I would have dumped some screenshots of, like, Utopia on there. But part of that is just because I'm doing it blind. I'm doing 2 experiments at once, really. Reading it blind and also spinning a video out of a VOD, right? So, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the outro bugs in the middle. It's pretty annoying. Yeah, so about 5 years ago, we crowdfunded my current PC. The Spuds did. It was, I remember very well, it was the Dragon Festival. We had a little donation drive going. And I bought a PC. I picked all the components for it. And I picked hard drives. Because to me, high-capacity SSDs were unreliable. And were very new and weren't worth it. They were very expensive. But I was a little bit out of date with that assumption. I should have just gone pure SSDs back then. I should have done. I didn't. And now I'm definitely out of date with it. The other advantage of going pure SSDs is you get, you know, it runs a bit quieter as well. So next PC, I'm really looking forward. Next big upgrade, which I'm hoping to do next generation. I think that'll be really good. There is a distinction between, like, SSD storage is kind of bad if you don't regularly power it up, while hard disk drives last a bit longer, and then nothing's as good as tape, obviously. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, what do we think, guys? Holy shit. I mean, I kind of already said everything, I think. I wish that they'd given more details on the fashion templates. Don't you guys think that the area binding is like a sick idea? Like, what's the point in doing it without that? I mean, I'm a little bit worried it's going to get really complicated as well, in a way. Like right now, I'm in game, right? I swap Gux's out, you know, with the exception of outfits, which overlap everything. I swap his gear, I swap his build, and his visuals change. Now, that pairing of build to visuals is quite fun. Let's go to another character. My Rev is a really good example of this. He's got lots of very distinct looks based on the build that I want him to have. So, like, my Vindicator Rev, like, this is my Herald, right? Which is very Heart of Thorns, right? It's the Herald shoulder piece. It's the original Heart of Thorns Revenant level 80 gear and stuff. That's my Herald. If I choose to swap to my Vindicator, I have a very different look on it, right? I have, you know, because he does all the jumping. I have the giant mechanical thing, like, you know, and you tie it to the build, and there's kind of a nice... Now, if fashion template, and you know, this is my Secrets of the Obscure appearance with the Mage Knight or this or whatever, and that's a set. Once we have a third column, which is what I assume they'll do, will that start getting a bit weird? I mean, I guess it's already a bit weird with outfits. Also, yeah, they didn't bundle everything in. I mean, come on, we got to put titles in there. Titles at the very least, but minis. Look at it all. It's on a plate for you, Arenanet. It's all there, ready to get players more motive. Glider skins. Do I finishers, mail carriers? All right, look, you don't have to worry about these two. You don't even sell these two anymore, so. Doors. My homestead doors. I'd better get a different homestead door animation on each thing. Mount skins. Yeah, very good point from Mortal John there in chat. Mount skins. Even Luke says, I'm assuming it's just the FF14 glamour plate system. Yeah, I guess it could be like that. You get 20 plates, right, in that game. But if you use add-ons, you can get more. Is that switching a mod? No. Just right-click your weapon swap. That's really funny. I had a friend of mine who plays a lot of this game asking me about that as well. I guess a lot of people don't know about this UI panel. It's possible they won't charge for templates since it's already tied to transmutation charges. Oh, yeah, that's a good point, yeah. I mean, it would feel a bit weird for them to triple dip, so to speak. Sell the expansion. The reason build templates were monetized was because they didn't sell a bulk. They didn't have a release price for Icebrood Saga. It's not an expansion, right? So they tried to monetize in other ways. And, you know, some of the nerds out there really threw their shit out at the window on that. So they're selling a base price. But mind you, they did say this is a free feature for the whole game. This is not a... Fuck, why can I not remember the name of this goddamn expansion? Why is it not going into my head? Something of the Eternity. Secrets of the Eternity? What the fuck is it? Anyway, the new expansion... I will... guys, next time I'm live, I'll know. Oh, God, that's bad, isn't it? Retention. What can I do? What brain exercises can I do to improve my retention? I don't like feeling the dementia creep ever onwards, ever closer. Yeah, this is a base feature that just happens to be coming out at the same time, like the Wizard's Vault. And there was a bit of weirdness with that with Secret of the Obscure. You know, we would say Secret of the Obscure was great, it had the Wizard's Vault, but then it technically wasn't sold as a part of it. Similar conversation, if you guys follow Stellaris, the shit show that is 4.0 right now. I know I don't talk about it very much on YouTube, not in real way anyway. You know, they have a similar thing where they'll do a base game patch that affects base mechanics, and then the expansion just hooks into it. They're technically separate things, but people often don't know how to disentangle them in their mind or their value proposition. Similar thing here. Zach with $5. Oh, let me check. Did I get any donations during that? Zach just there with 5 New Zealand dollars. Thank you very much, man. I rarely get to show up to these, so I'll show some support now. Anyway, I'm thinking about the Crucible of Eternity. Similar name to the expansion. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I guess what we need to do is a bit of a recap on what the Inquest have been all about, you know. And they've always been a bit secret and a bit, you know, consortium-y, like sneaky in the background kind of thing. But here they were basically trying to merge all the dragon energies together. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if the Inquest had some serious interest in Aurene. I'm not interested in Aurene. I'm not ready for more stories with Aurene, but to follow the actual factions as they are in universe, I feel like if there's anyone hunting down for where Aurene is asleep and looking to fuck with her and change the regulation, it's them. Guild Wars 2, something of eternity. Yeah, I remember the word eternity. It should be called Aurora of Exordium. We've gone back to the of format as well. X of Y, right? Eternal Alchemy would have been a wicked expansion name, no? I think so too, yeah. I think that would have been a really good one. I got a £100 donation, did I? Oh, $100. Did I seriously? While I was doing the video bit? Are you serious? No, that was earlier. Not that I don't appreciate it. That was Connor, yes, and that was really, really amazing. Thank you again for that, Connor. We did have David TP just straight up joined on YouTube. Thank you, anyone who does that. Banjo gifted 10 memberships as well. Thank you. So yeah, I did miss 2 things there. I did miss 2 things. All right, guys. So what am I missing here? They're bred to bring back Kuda for this. We still have beef with her after the sound swept. I don't remember what happened with Kuda. I get a bit nervous sometimes talking about Guild Wars story when it's like deep in the weeds of like season 3, season 4, stuff that went by. And I can't. We didn't kill her, did we? Did we just throw her in jail? What happened? She just ran off. She was more of an element of the meta rather than the story, no? Or am I getting that confused? Soundswept was a great patch. It's probably a really good one to replay. Oh god, if it wasn't for the fact that I genuinely am trying to play other games, I would so just do a let's play. What was the patch called again? Let's play a bug in the system. I seriously think a bug in the system is a great thing to go back to right now. She's on the loose. Yeah, so what happened? Why is she on the loose? She just get away from us? She twirled her mustache and dipped. On one of the blogs, there was a screenshot of what might be the Guardian with a blue flame lantern wearing black armor, so it was interesting. Oh, black armor, fallen angels. Fallen angel. Visions of Eternity. That's it. Visions. Which is funny because your original Guild Wars 1... guild was called Heroes of Eternity, or HOEs. I had an old guild called Eternity as well. My original guild was called Eternity Lost and Found, I think. ELF was the tag. We were PvPers. We were Heroes Ascent players. The reason I play NA mostly and like socialize with a bunch of people that I do is all because in Guild Wars 1, I joined that Heroes Ascent guild, and they merged in an alliance into a mega guild, which then split. But once they merged with a bunch of NA communities. So then I was in an NA guild. And then I was in that guild when Guild Wars 2 launched, and so I picked North America as my region for Guild Wars 2. For many years since, I've been able to swap, but, you know. And that just that led to everything. It's really weird, El. That's like a good little butterfly effect thing for me. Because I don't know any of those guys anymore. I do know that the guild leader for that original guild, I thought sounded really old, like an adult, when I first met him. And then years later, maybe a decade ago, I found an old video where he's in it. And he sounds like a really weedy, nerdy little kid. He sounds like a little boy. And I was like, how did I ever think that guy sounds like an adult? And that just puts into perspective how young I was. I had someone telling me that I sound way younger in my Path of Fire coverage than I do now. And that freaks me out. Putting Isgarin in this is a weird decision. So far, can't see any connection. Well, it depends on the mysticism and the magical properties of the island, right? If it's this big, ancient, historical landmark, Isgarin may well be interested in it. I think it works. And he's a powerful character. He's a good, strong character. And I feel like there's still a lot left for us to dig into with him. There have been many moments over the mini X-Packs where I felt like they're kind of building to him being toppled or something. Maybe they won't. I'd rather they don't. I sound 58 now. Oh, great. You know, the one big advantage of not doing face cam, of doing it anonymous, is a sense of continuity. You know, when someone does face cam, you go back to their old videos and you see they're in a different apartment. Or, oh, they're wearing those clothes that they used to wear all the time. They're not wearing them anymore. Or, oh, they have a beard now and they didn't have a beard anymore. You know, things change. But a person's voice doesn't necessarily change much. So you get a sense of continuity. It all feels... It's more evergreen. I've always liked that. So then hearing that I sound way younger, and POF, which wasn't long ago. Your dad called the guild he made with you Connor's Pirates. So Connor has the crown now. Connor has the #1 crown. That new YouTube feature with the crowns. Connor has the crown because of the insane donation, I guess, right? Is that how it works? The top chatter gets the crown unless you donate, and then you become the crown? I mean, that's actually really handy, because now if Connor ever types anything, I can know to respond. Your voice changed a lot during your videos the last 14 years? I watch I won't say who it is, I don't want to be rude. I watched a YouTuber who got really ill. Like, literally deathly ill. But he didn't realize he was getting ill, he just thought he was putting on weight and stuff. And his voice changed so much. But he mostly just ended up speaking really slow. And it was really striking to hear the difference there. I like to think as long as I'm a little bit high-pitched and I speak a little bit fast, I'll probably sound the same. Chat and donation give XP. I see. And it's just for this one stream. What, guys, is there anything someone wants a further take from me on? What am I sort of missing out on here? Shall we do the trailer once more? Let's watch it again. Yeah, someone said in chat, I've seen this boat before. What do you mean I've seen the boat? Who said what? I've seen the boat before? My thought with that is that the big ass boat in Istan? Like one of these? Is it this? Is it the Dark Leviathan? Or I guess the Skimming Stone or the what? I mean, they're just various Corsair boats, right? It is Saida's boat, so that probably is Saida then in the thing. I think you're right. It looks like old LA. I think it's both, right? Porque no los dos, everybody. Porque no los dos. Trying to pronounce that as badly as possible. You know, I think when this patch came out, they looked at an old asset they had. That's pretty nerdy shit, isn't it? To be able to just immediately pick this out and know. I mean, it does look epic, doesn't it? If they have... Oh, man. If they have the tech to have them actually sailing around. Those waves were very exciting to me. If they actually have the boats sailing and stuff. Is this it, really? Yeah, it looks pretty close, doesn't it? What else have we got? I'm on the skimmer, foreshadowing. Yeah, maybe. So that's Saida looking all tarted up. Well, tarted up. What's the word I'm looking for there? Like this is... Look, that looks like ship combat, doesn't it? It looks like they're about to broadside one another or something. I'm an expert on that because I played all of 10 hours of Sea of Thieves. The only thing I can think of wanting to take is if you think there'll be Guild Wars 3 after this X-Pack. I don't think any of the information we got today, or yesterday, last night, I don't think any of that information really can guide me one way or another with that. Personally, I'm leaning no. I'm thinking they'll do... it's really hard. That's a tough call. But I think there's a very good chance they'll keep going with it. The thing is, I would also possibly have expected confirmation of that in that blog post. Don't you guys think? Just one... Imagine the blog post exactly as you all just read it. But one other paragraph at the bottom where they say, with the release of our third mini expansion, or however they want to phrase it, with the release of our third yearly expansion since End of Dragons, we'd like to take the time to confirm that we are indeed continuing with this format. It's important that we don't continue reinventing the wheel, and we feel we've found some great stability here with plenty of opportunity to iterate. You know, corporate speak, corporate speak, corporate speak. We appreciate you for playing, and many more to come. If that is their plan to keep going, you probably would have seen that, right? Another paragraph. Flying fish. You know, the other thing Sandswept did was, as you sail around, the dolphins jump out of the water with you. Now, that would be pretty epic if they go back to doing stuff like that. Check the world map on the wiki and look at the island on the very top left. I bet you 100 quid it's that one. Oh, does wiki have the expanded, like, data mined one? The in-game one is slightly smaller. It's cropped slightly. So you can actually see an island on the top left, can you? On the wiki variation. You think it's over there? So they expand the size of the world map again? We actually had the name of that, though. That's like the Sunset Isle, and it's more of a continental mass over there than an island. I feel like this is a really good candidate. But, I mean, the fact it's been... What I was trying to get at is it's printed on the map, right? So how can we say that that's been lost for years? I mean, we get into the weird... There's sort of a ludonarrative issue here, right? Of, like, who is the cartographer behind the user interface feature that pops when we press M? You know, and I'm not sure they really want us thinking about discussions like that too much. EHSK says that's why they talked about story reception. WP costs are getting crazy again? Wait, what do you mean costs? What do you mean what? Just the 30 quid a year for a mini X-Pack thing? I mean, I seriously don't think there's any problem with holding off for a year or two and getting on some kind of sale, and then you've put yourself into the old business model there, right? At that point, you've said, okay, I'm getting a huge bulk of content for 50 quid, which is what you were paying before. You know, and if we're spending more on the higher tier editions or whatever, you know, those are our choices as consumers. I'm a big believer in the market, I must say. This is really nice, but I want to talk more about it, but there's nothing to say, is there, really? Actually feels a little bit Niosian in a way. You know, in Nios, where you're knocking the fruits off of the trees. Do you think and feeding the guys? Do you think it might be a bit like that? Feeding ley energy. And what's that spinning thing on the back left corner? On that shot. Let's rewind slightly. It looks like a windmill over there, right? On the bottom left. Let me get a few frames of it. There, I would love, whenever I see mowers like this, they pop up in trailers all the time. If there were slightly different variations of mowers, you know. I know we kind of hit all the primary colors already. I mean, that thing's epic. So that was that there. Can I just say, here's an observation that I never had a second ago. Well, look at this real close, ready? This is a ritualist, presumably. I don't know the handedness. I think it's wielding a scepter. I think that's the new, like, pre-release scepter, isn't it? But look at this, ready? Boom. That's a melee attack. I was talking about, like, melee attacks for, like, foci. Didn't they just hit that thing in melee? I know that in actual gameplay, you might use your scepter attacks in melee range anyway, but it really looked like she punched it with that, didn't it? Smashed it with $5. Thanks, man. Talking about maps. Does the name line Unwidth any of the readable names on the Priory map. Oh, I see. Does the name line up with any of the unreadable names on the Priory map? Possibly. I don't really remember that. I mean, God, you'd think I would. Me and Shaman translated that fucking thing. I remember a lot of the names of the Priory map. I remember being so giddy and excited about that. Sorry, I'm alt-tabbed right now. I'm going to the wiki. I think it's on the page just titled World, isn't it? No, that gave me that. For the world map. No, try the page Tyria. Is the annotation on wiki? Oh, wiki actually doesn't even host the Priory floor map. That's interesting. Oh, I'd have to go digging from it from the Twitter or somewhere in my archives. I don't know for sure. Right, let's keep playing the trailer here. So yeah, I like the big looking crab, guys. Tidal wave things. You know, that tidal wave, I wonder if we can combat mount the skimmer and you'll hover over the tidal wave. Right. In fact, I'll put a bet on that. I'll put a 250 ecto bet that that's what happens. It's a normal thing. Tidal waves come, you get on the skimmer to let it pass underneath you. We already saw some design a bit like that in Janthir Wilds, getting on Warclaws or Sky Scales to get away as like the shit explodes and that final thing. Now this is interesting. Big shotgun attack, fiery shotgun attack. I'm sure that thing's going to be called the Bounty Hunter, which is epic. You know, I've got like this dream MMO world building project I do where I've got my own MMO. And I've got loads of my class system is very shallow, very thin classes, but there's loads of them. And so I've got like all my favorite class names in it, and I've got Bounty Hunter. I think Bounty Hunter is awesome. Yeah, what do you guys think? Was I wrong about this? Is that the leader of the Inquest right there? You can't do an expansion like this without going for that, surely. I think people are really critical of the price in the game. If you compare it to the rest of the industry, Arenanet could probably get away with selling mini X-Backs at $50, but they don't. Yeah, I don't think they're asking for much. I think most people who are fans at this point, I might be wrong with this, and it might not be a healthy thing. I think a lot of us are grown up and have jobs, and I don't think $30 is the same as it was in 2010 or 2000. I don't think they're actually asking for that much, really. And my priority... Now, look, I'm not being a great consumer advocate here right now. And what I'm about to say is a bit dodgy. Like, I wouldn't take this line of reasoning too far. But what's on my mind is I want the studio to have some fucking money so they can actually do things. So they have the budget. So they have the talent, right? So they can hire talented people so that they can get the assets in. So, you know, I'm never going to be on the front line saying I want my budget experience. Fuck your budget experience. I want a premium experience, and I'll pay a premium price. I would pay full price every year. Now, that's my fun, and I'm not that well off, right? Jesus, I would do that. That's my priority for Guild Wars because that's what I think Guild Wars needs. Now, you know, I'm not saying every failure of Arenanet is because they haven't had the money. A lot of it's how they've apportioned it and projects that have never gone anywhere and blah, 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 blah. And selling these mini X-Packs at a higher price doesn't necessarily insulate us from them doing that again, and so on and so forth. But I would never argue against the $30. I think $30 is very reasonable. $30 is dirt cheap compared to what other MMOs do. Elder Scrolls Online is much more expensive. It was funny, right when the Arenanet announced they were doing yearly, Elder Scrolls Online announced they were stopping doing yearly, remember? I remember that happening and thinking, oh god, that could be a disaster. Hello, Kerry, by the way. So, I don't know about that. They don't do it yearly anymore, so they charge a bit more. But I have noticed on Elder Scrolls Online, when you go to like their Steam page, it's like, here's your opt-in sub, here's this, and buy this, and buy this, and buy this, and buy this. Don't they sell you individual dungeons in that? Also, I mean, they really turn the screws a lot more. I mean, look, comparing to World of Warcraft, as far as finances are concerned, is a bit of a non-starter of a discussion. What's the point, right? And FF14 too. Look, you can't take two MMOs that, against all odds, have managed to hold on to subscription models, and at that has been one of the biggest games of all time, right? And like, you know, you can't. I mean, Guild Wars had its moment. It had a moment around launch, but at the end of the day, it's a different caliber of game. I don't know. Let's keep playing it. You've come around on sub fees? Me too, to an extent. Me too, I have to be honest. I don't think Guild Wars 3 will do a raw sub fee, but it might have an opt-in one like the Chinese veteran program. So by the way, someone said to me on Discord that Chinese players are already playing this. Like some things are already in game for them. Is that true? What was that all about? Elder Scrolls Online will sell you your sister if they would. Yeah, I believe in an MMO where you can get a virtual family in a virtual house. But if you don't pay the sub fee, you know, they'll die. They'll like starve. You'll lose the house. Your virtual kids will get taken away from you. You know, in-game child protective services, the Imperials, they'll come and pull your dumber children away from you. That's what I want. No, the Chinese things is lies. Okay, but what is the Chinese thing? I heard there was a leak or something. Papers, please, the MMO. I still really want to play that game. I saw another game I really want to play the other day. Have you guys heard of this Plan B terraforming? Looks like an amazing mix. It's basically it's a sci-fi city building game with Factorio-like elements, automation elements. It's not a dedicated automation game, all right, which might be a bit too much for me. I might be a bit too much casual. But it's like a city builder with like a great scale. You're shaping the fucking planet. Looks so cool. It's the Steam automation sale at the moment. Sorry, this has got nothing to do with Guild Wars. It's 50% off, and I'm so close to buying it. It looks awesome. Plan B Terraform. It has overwhelmingly positive reviews. It came out like a year and a half ago. The Chinese thing was just poems with the teaser images for the Elite Specs. Oh yeah, I mean, I knew about those. It's funny that the I've come around on sub fees take has also come with being older and having more income because you were so adamant about it when you were a teenager. Yeah, I mean, look, I was very against them because I was from a low-income family that never would have paid for a sub fee in the first place. And Arenanet had a lot of really good points that you didn't need it. The thing is, the reason this genre built sub fees was it was that idea of server space, and it was maintenance and networking expenses and stuff. That's how it was justified. And Arenanet rightly came out and said, no, look, these things have come far forward. We've done amazing work on the technical side. We don't need to charge you a sub fee for this. And Arenanet was right to do that, and everyone was right to believe in that. I think as the next decade's gone along, I think a lot of us have learned, okay, fine, you may not have those network infrastructure costs, but you do have costs associated with a live service game. A game that's going to get continual updates, a game that gets increasing technical debt and feature creep and baggage and the expertise there and the money to retain your devs that know what's going on with it, and all that shit. It is expensive to keep the games going, just in a different way, you know. So a lot of Arenanet's arguments were right, and they didn't need to charge that sub fee. And in those primordial days, those other games were ripping you off. And Arenanet were saying, no, we're not going to do that. And I'll endlessly respect that. But I think the conversation has shifted as time's gone on. I think this idea that sub fees cater to adults is interesting as well. Because Arenanet, for a long time, always had this thing where they were like, well, we're the MMO for adults. We're the MMO for someone with a family and a mortgage and kids and all this kind of thing. And that's what fed into their anti-grind philosophy and all this shit. And it was kind of a big thing, right? How much of that they still believe in, I don't know. I mean, again, one video I've wanted to do a lot of for a long time. I went back and reread their blog post before the release of Guild Wars 2. The things they said about the MMO, what they were going to do, how it was going to play. They're basically describing a completely different RPG. A game that you are not playing. A game that does not exist. And I think it'll be a fascinating video to go over that. Just read that post and see where they are. And we're kind of skirting around that discussion right now. Man, my throat's getting a bit sore. I don't know why. We've only been going 2 hours. Tokazo says, I still don't have time to play an MMO full time, so it's one of the reasons I'm coming back to Guild Wars 2 is because it has a lack of a sub fee. Yeah, seriously, guys, I don't think they'll ever do a sub fee for this franchise. I don't think you're going to see it. I think you might see an opt-in rewards program for like gem shipments or whatever. I mean, seriously, just look at the Chinese veteran thing. You'd pay a sub fee if they fix the Zaitan fight. I mean, it is. So someone there in chat says it's bullshit. Sub fee is never good. You can say that, but when I've been doing my big Final Fantasy 14 project the past few years. When you sit and you play FF14, you look at the breadth of the features, the scope of the expansions. I mean, if all you've seen is my recent stuff on ARR and stuff, it's rocket. But as you see it, as it goes along, there's a real bar of quality there. And I mean, who are we in the community to say that's all because they have a sub fee? But I'll tell you what, man, I wish Guild Wars had that level of shit. The amount of features they have and innovations they have and just the depth and the work, it's incredible. And it is kind of easy to say, well, look, one game has a lot more money than the other game. I think it's a component, at least. I think we'd be stupid to not accept that it's a component. You've also got shit like, so Stellaris is interesting. They've done regular expansions, just like mini expansions in this game. But it's now been so many years that if you're a new player, you go to their shop and you'll be disgusted. It's like £200 to play the full game because you're catching up over a decade of mini products. And for players who were there playing through it over the years, you know, we didn't feel the burden on our wallet. But for new people, they're like, this is fucking grotesque. This is disgusting. And so what they do is they offer a sub fee that gets you all of it immediately. So now the value proposition's actually better with a sub. So, you know, it's not like a black on white thing. Connor says, I've never been super upset with microtransactions or paying for... Microtransactions are another thing. I really don't like microtransactions. You know what, guys? Last month, or the month before, I was playing Guild Wars 1 again. I finished my Kurzik title. You know, I talked about it. I got lucky, unlucky. What was the other thing I did? I got Oracle of Wisdom. And you know what? It's so fun, man, in that game. Trading items in Kamadan, getting golds dropping as you're doing your runs, getting elite tomes dropping, getting all that stuff. Thinking about cool skins. You know, oh, should I buy a Bone Dragon staff with one of the new mods? Should I do this? It's so fun. I used to really enjoy grinding for gold and farming and shit in Guild Wars 1. And why? Because there was no microtransactions. Microtransactions just meaning you get gold out of nowhere. All the cool looking shit that rivals the visuals of Legendary on the gem store, outfits, badass looking weapons with unsheath effects and stuff. It all muddies the waters. It really, I don't like them. I don't fucking like them. I want to earn the mount skin in game, you know? And as soon as there's that stuff that people are just buying, or you yourself can just fall to and buy, it contaminates the game so much. The idea of an MMO that's a sub fee, but no microtransactions ever, that's something I genuinely think would be cool. I would trade that. I would pay a sub fee to have a game where they promise to never do microtransactions. I think that would be pretty fucking sick. Now, there are difficulties. If they don't sell gold for gems first party, then you know, botters will and hackers will, and you're kind of encouraging it. You know, it's not an easy solution. That there's a reason they sell you gems themselves, because if they don't, someone else will, and so on. But look, I don't. Microtransactions suck, and that's what I think is really grotesque about Final Fantasy 14. They say they have a sub fee and the Mog Station. No, fuck you. Don't do the Mog Station. And same with World of Warcraft. They have a sub fee and whatever their microtransactions and stuff. One or the other. I mean, really. That's where I think, you know, it gets to be a bit much. If you're creating cool skins and badass things, put them in as in-game rewards, man. Is that what Ashes Creation is? Seriously, is that Ashes of Creation? That's one of those MMOs people go on and on and on to me about, and I've never really looked into. And it's funny, Arenanet, as much as you might think this or that about them, I would try, when it comes to money, when it comes to like how they've ran their markets and their gem store and stuff, you know, I feel like, you know, people were always scared they were going to jump the shark and turn back on their principles. Remember when Fractals came out? The hysteria Oh my god, they've added ascended gear. It's going to be divine gear in 6 months. And it's going to be mythical gear the year after that. They're liars. Arenanet don't lie about that shit. And I would actually trust them. If they released an MMO and they said this is the business model, out of everyone on the scene, I would trust them. To, you know, they're not... You know, they get so much flack. Oh, published by NCSoft. Look at what they did. Blah, 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 blah. No, I actually would have that faith. I really would. I think they've earned that from me. You might call me a mug. But 15 years, they've not led me astray so far. Yeah, I don't want to pay a sub fee just to get back into the game if I want to take a break. Microtransactions are way better. Yeah, look, yeah, definitely. I mean, look, that's a downside to the model. I actually just got an email from 14 saying I've lost my house. Remember the end of the 14 series? I spent like 3 million gil on my house. And we won. We got lucky on the bid and everything. Do you remember that? Yeah, I lost it now because I'm not paying the sub. The first Mount WoW sold made them more money than the StarCraft franchise made for its entire existence up to that point, says Reptilian Cow. That's the thing. I just mentioned I'm a big believer in the market. It's consumers' decision to do what they want. That's what people as individuals decided to buy that mount. And Blizzard earned millions off of it, right? I mean, you'd be fucking dummy not to do it, right? And I bet Arenanet look at a lot of stuff that happens in this industry and say, oh my god, we got no money because we did the right thing, so to speak. And it's like, man, you're a mug if you're not taking advantage of that. We are selling to willing buyers at current market rates. All right? As Scar says in Margin Call. One of the best movies, by the way, ever made. If you like understated movies, check it out. Margin Call. It's about the 2008 financial crisis. It's effective. That's the subject, but it's effectively a movie about how people justify doing terrible things. And you get the full array of different opinions from different characters there. How they justify how they're basically fucking people over. But it's okay because A. But it's okay because B. But it's okay because C. Millions, try billions. I don't think they made billions of dollars on one mount. I'm almost certain whatever Guild Wars 3 is, it will be on consoles. A market condition for microtransactions. Maybe. I mean, yeah, that's a big market too that Arenanet haven't been able to tap. Guys, I feel like we're not really talking about the expansion now. And my throat's a little bit sore. So look, can I just say one last thing for the chat? Anyone want to talk about Visions of Eternity? That's it, right? Visions of the Eternal? Visions of Eternity. Anyone got any comments on that? Because I'm gonna jump off and process this video now. Any last quick thoughts? And I'll just say to anyone watching this VOD, you know, just drop a comment and I'll grab them up. I'll grab questions and stuff up, and we'll keep doing things. Venus says the Ranger spec is Tengu themed. Do you think it's Tengu themed? What, because of the birds? Hey, we can't do new playable races. Oh, I didn't even mention that in this whole video. Am I disappointed we didn't get the Tengu? Yes. Did I expect us to get the Tengu? No. So it didn't come to mind. Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it? You know what? I'm idly running around in Istan. I should be idly running around up here. Yeah, we can't give you the Tengu, so we'll give you a Tengu Elite spec. Any ideas on the other ones we didn't see? Well, keep an eye out. I'm going to... I've heard that there's a leak of the Elite specs with their coloured icons right now. So the colours are actually confirmed or something. I'll have a look into that. I've said to Boots I'll record with him on the weekend. We're going to do the first Elite speculation, guys, in 3 years. 36 months since an Elite specialization. You've been sitting there patiently waiting. The only content you've seen with me and Boots in since then has been adventure-based stuff, I think, probably. Maybe the odd thing here and there, balanced with Boots we were still doing for a while. Boots will be back. The grand return of the one and only. I'll be shooting that this weekend, and we'll talk about mechanics and whatever we think we've seen. WP, Crackpot Theory, Inquest discover a portal to Zoteka. Would be awesome. Yeah, I wonder if I do think that island might be Zoteka, just under another name. You really think that Castora could be an island off the coast of Zoteka? And you really hope that that's a little spit of land way to the west of the map that we only see a little bit of? Yeah, one thing mini X-Packs are not doing is that sense of a whole new continent, right? But, I mean, let's be real. Even main X-Packs weren't doing that very well. End of Dragons didn't really do it that well for me. POF kind of did. Heartthorn certainly didn't. I don't know. We're just not in the era of... I mean, Nightfall was so good. I'll never forget you, Nightfall. I'll never forget you. You had the tone. You had the scope. You had the mechanics. What a dream you were. And to think of an original Utopia. Not a Utopia like they made it these days, but an actual 2009 release Utopia. Wow, what a product that would have been. Some strikes are just so easy. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. When they're merging strikes into raids, will they make those easy strikes harder? Good question. Killing the Ice Golem? What, am I going to get Magnetite and Legendary Insights from killing the Ice Golem? Nightfall even had the memes. It did. That's a very good point. Maybe they will rework it a bit. I mean, that's some easy LI, isn't it? I mean, the entire time I've liked the idea of merging those together because I just think it's the right move for the game and the systems and onboarding and all that. Here's the dolphin thing, by the way, obviously, and the sharks. But now I realize I have a more selfish reason to be excited about it. I can get LI really easily and finish my Envoy armor. Has my outlook on this yearly expansion changed after 2? Seems like I'm still excited. Yes, this year was not as bad as last year. Nyos was a whiff. The iffy thing about... Yeah, like... I just think overall this year was a bit better. That might be down to subject material, though, because Pather was such a dead end of a story. And Nyos was such a boring location. So I might be being a bit inobjective about that. And maybe I'm a sucker, but they said, you know, moderately more story next year. Restructuring a bit. We'll see. We'll see what they do. I mean, what else am I going to do? What did you miss? You missed me ending it, Kerry. I'm leaving now. Icebreed Saga 5 is the new Wing 8. Yeah, I mean, the idea of wings is probably going away, right? There's a lot to talk about with that. My impression is that they will break up the raids as we know it. And you might get a playable, explorable version where you get all the dialogue and you can do it linearly. But in all reality... So the question is, where does the Ghost Run fit, to take a Spirit Veil example, under the new model? If I load in for the Gorseval raid, do we have to do Spirit Run as a pre-event? I think that makes sense, right? If you load in as VG, you do that. If you load in for Sabbather, you do the little run-up. There's no problem with that, is there? I mean, it's a little tedious or whatever. But, you know, the Ice Golem in Icebreed Saga has you running past the boulder and doing the jumping puzzly bit on the icy floors. So yeah, I think just some will have pre's. Wow, Arenanet didn't release the specs list because WP asked them not to, so he could film with boots. Go tell everyone. Thanks for the $5 there. Yeah, that kind of worked out perfectly for us because our plan was for them to do all the teasers and then before the big announcement, then squeeze our video in between. Squeeze our video into the middle between the big announcement. But they gave us no time. They did the last teaser on Monday and then the announcement on Tuesday. And I was talking to Boots and he said, look, I'm really busy. Like, we'll be strapped for time. And I haven't properly sat down and chatted with him for ages. And I said, I don't want to hang out when we're really strapped for time. Let's do it when we've got a bit more time. So kind of took a gamble there and it worked out. What unique mechanic or niche am I hoping for from this bunker? That's too much to say. And I'll need to stop and think about it, I think. They could do it like T3 and FF14 for the lulz. I don't know how T3 works in that. They could break raids into strikes, but the CM could be the regular raid, at least for old stuff. Maybe. I don't know whether I believe in that, though. I feel like one raid per fight makes sense. One fight per raid, sorry. You read that the Bard and Minstrel is getting kits as utilities. Did you read that? Is there extra promotional material? We're getting to that point where we'll start seeing they pay outside streamers lots more money than their partners to cover the game with their audiences. And the partners just sort of sit there saying, what? Which is why it's so important to click the links. Wing 6 has so many extra environmental work to put them through. Yeah, but I can imagine, you know, I can imagine the stuff before the Conjured Amalgamate. The portal bit before the Largos. And then the chessboard flaming ball bit before Kadim. It all works. I think they just have a pre. They just put a pre in front of it. That's just speculation. You will be pre-ordering through my link. Thanks for the amazing experience today. Thank you, Connor. Honestly, man, you're a legend. Thank you so much for that $100. Thanks for the support, everyone. I'm going to close it down there. Thank you all. Listen, if you want to talk more, got more comments, just drop them. Just leave them in the comments. I'll take some screenshots. We'll have more videos coming up. Thank you all. I'm going to go rest my throat, get a drink. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Keep an eye out on the main channel. I'll spin that video section off. And yeah, thanks everybody. Have a good day. Oh, do you know what? Do you know what? Here's I'm going to outro it in a different way today. Ready? It's a beautiful outro. Don't leave yet. You won't regret it. All right, see you next time, guys. Let's do that again, but with music this time. All right, there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching.